Welcome in on a Tuesday edition, Bill Michaels Show. So glad you're with us. As always, in studio for a day anyway. I rode America last week, one of my favorite places on earth. Tomorrow we're going to be at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. I don't know, if the morning is like this, I'm going to be outside at a picnic table. If it's like this tomorrow, I'm going to be outside at a picnic table. It's supposed to be beautiful. I can't wait. And tomorrow, Wednesday Night Live opens up officially over the Bud Pavilion at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. We're going to be there for that kickoff. Really looking forward to that. But, man, what a weekend. Oh, my goodness. Hopefully you enjoyed your weekend. Hopefully you remembered what the weekend was all about. I know, there was something every day. And we'll get into that. What kind of I did, and I posted a lot this past weekend, so hopefully you had a chance to follow. And if you want to track us down on so many different social platforms, you can. We always appreciate it when you do. But what a weekend it was! It was a memorable weekend. It was a weekend in which you, obviously yesterday, it was the old decoration day. I was hearkening back to when I was a kid. My aunt and uncle used to come down with my dad's sister, and they would go out to the graves of all of our family members and those specifically that had, been in the armed forces. And I remember Decoration Day, back in the day, and I was a little kid. I would go plant the flags, go put the flags in the ground. And then they would bring all the flowers and they would put the red, white, and blue flowers, down on all the grave sites and everything. So hopefully you kind of remember what yesterday was all about. But all in all, a spectacular weekend. Brewers today, they wake up 2.5 games up, even with a couple of losses to the Dodgers after that spectacular start on Friday night, which I was there, which was awesome. Saw that, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Grant, you went to the game on Saturday. Oof. Talk about a kick to the beanbag. Man, got drilled. And the Dodgers beat the hell out of the Brewers. But that being said, all in all, Brewers wake up 2.5 games up. They got knocked off the Cardinals yesterday. And so we feel good about that. Packers going to be back on the practice field again this week. You had a spectacular weekend of racing as well. If you watched the end of the Indianapolis 500, oh, my God, what a spectacular finish. The job that Rosenquist did down the stretch was just for 3 out of the 4 turns, he was done. And he was not going to win that race. And then I don't know how he did it. A fake on the inside, goes to the outside on the right, up on the high side of the track. And the next thing you know, he wins in the closest finish ever in the history of the Indy 500. So that was powerful. And then the tribute they did, and I was shocked to see Kyle Busch's family and kids on the grid in Charlotte at the Coca-Cola 600, and the start that they had and the moment of silence and the ceremonies. I mean, if you didn't sit there and bawl on your couch, you're not a human being. I don't know what to tell you, but that was an emotional moment. And that was very powerful. You saw the NBA, the Knicks closed it out last night. And I've come to the conclusion, which has now been cemented in my mind in the rest of history, you're never going to win anything with James Harden. Watching him stand there last night as they just basically gave up. Cleveland just completely quit. And the Knicks pounded them, and they move on to the NBA Finals. Now you've got back at OKC tonight, Oklahoma City, the Thunder hosting the Spurs in Game 5. And this is a big one. So anyway, a lot of stuff happening. And you had Carolina. Oof. They knocked off the Canadians. The Canadians, they lose a goal on an offsides call, which was a legitimate call, but they lost a goal on an offsides call. It goes to overtime. Carolina gets the win. So Carolina gets themselves a little bit of jubilation yesterday as well. So a lot of good stuff in the world of sports. If you would like to chime in, this is the way to do it. All you got to do is find us 877-867-1670. You can also track us down at 608-321-1670. That's the text line. We always encourage that. If you want to text us, please feel free to go ahead and do so. You can text us there, 608-321-1670. Then you can watch us each and every day over on YouTube. Subscribe. It is free, Free, free. Go to youtube.com. That is youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. We're on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. You can find Grant over at Wisco Grant, WISCO, Wisco Grant. You can find us on the app. Take us anywhere and everywhere. That is Wisco Sports Zone, Wisco Sports Zone. Email the program, the Bill Michaels at gmail.com, the website, thebillmichaels.com, and make the meter. We did get some followers over the weekend. I like that. We're 49 away from 5,000. We were close to that last week, and I didn't get a lot. But if you follow us on Instagram, we would certainly appreciate it. Go to Instagram and then find The Bill Michaels Show. And the meter behind me moves. We're creeping up on 5,000 followers. Please be one of them. That's all we ask. You can also track us down over on Facebook and on TikTok. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, LinkedIn app as well. Catch the TV show, which is on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time in Milwaukee. That is My 24 TV. That is My 24 TV in Milwaukee. So there you go. Graham Bills, how was your weekend?
It was great in Milwaukee Friday and Saturday. It's every Brewers fan's dream to watch Robert Gasser pitch. I mean, it was a one-run game into the sixth, or for a good portion of the game. The Brewers scored a couple runs early, and it got bad at the end. But I think we left.
Right.
It got a little hazy. I'm not sure. We left maybe in the seventh, kind of when Woodford, it's Woodford, right, started to struggle, and we hopped on the shuttle back to the bar from whence we came. I almost sent you a picture because we were at Stenny's. We were down at Walker's Point on Saturday afternoon.
Wow.
Maybe it's just I've always been in there sober because I've been doing the show with you. Did they take down a wall or a support beam or something in there? Or no?
Nope.
Maybe I was just drunk. I wouldn't stop. To my buddy, I'm like, did they change something in here? Maybe it's because I've always been up in that little area with you doing the show, looking down at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, went to the bar. Didn't get any Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread. Thought about it.
Okay.
Didn't do it. So very good weekend, yes, in Milwaukee, all in all, including a trip to Stenny's, which has not been renovated or changed. I need
No. The only thing they did is in the back, it used to be a patio.
That's right.
And then they enclosed it because that's where everybody went to smoke. And then they enclosed it. They just had a room because they needed the room. And now it's actually a part of the entire setup there. So
there's room for it. It was busy. Place was popping.
Yep.
We kicked around Water Street a little bit during the day, and then went down to Walker's Point, and I got a free hat at the Brewer game, which I wore golfing yesterday. So
nice.
I was all over the place this weekend. I felt like you.
Yeah, we went to because we went to the game on Friday. Now it was funny because I started out at Road America, came home, dropped the equipment off. Picked Kristen up. We went to the game on Friday night. And then from the game, we went to San Giorgio, which was spectacular. I got to be honest with you. For everybody that follows the diet, I did not weigh in today. I'll weigh in tomorrow because I got a lot of food in me. So it was that kind of weekend. I didn't go crazy, but I ate the way I shouldn't. So I went to San Giorgio on Friday. Saturday, we ended up, we ran some errands on Saturday morning, and then we went to the Third Ward Beer Garden at Catalano Square. And went down there on Saturday afternoon. And I was talking to Chris, and I'm like, look, it's kind of a date day. Where would you like to go? She said, honestly? I said, yeah. She said, I'd like to go back to Calderon. So I went to Calderon Club and sat down there and watched the Brewers game with the guys, with the bartenders and Alex and everybody at Calderon Club on Saturday evening. Came home. Sunday, we had a birthday party we went to up at Solu Winery. And I got my Harley back, and Kristen went home on Sunday morning because she had her kids coming back home. So I said, well, do you want to ride up? I'll pick you up and we can ride up. She goes, nah, I really don't want to ride. She wanted to get kind of foo-foo dressy for this birthday party. And I'm like, look, I'm riding. It's beautiful. I'm jumping on a Harley. So I'll meet you there. So I rode from my house to Solu Winery, which is up, I guess, near Cascade, Wisconsin, Plymouth, Wisconsin. So I rode all the back roads. It was spectacular. It was so nice. So I rode there, and we did that. We sat there and we listened to the band and music they had. And I had my one beer, and then after that, I just drank water because I'm on the bike and I don't drink. So then rode back home Saturday night or Sunday night. And then yesterday I got up and I went and saw my buddy Tim down at Tim Stereo's because he's trying to fit me for a new windshield, and he wanted me to test some. So I went down there and he did a few things for me. And then after that, I went and did yard work at her house. We did the lawn, and we went into, the typical Memorial Day stuff. You go and get flowers, and she had a bench that she bought for her front porch. She bought this wicker bench, and I have no idea where she got it. It must have been like IKEA. But what should have normally, I don't know why they just don't put them together. But what should have been, I don't know, maybe a 10-minute thing. They give you that little Allen wrench, that little tiny hunk of crap Allen wrench.
It's the
and
IKEA
they give
special.
you 14,000 bolts to put in it. And it was, I told her, I'll help you with it. We'll do it. And ended up, we did it together, which was nice. But it went from being about a 10-minute project to about an hour and a half. I sat on the concrete floor in the garage, and I just screwed these bolts together, and the whole thing. And then afterwards, I took the spray and I sprayed all the cracks in her driveway, sprayed the cracks in her sidewalk, sprayed the crack, leading up to her front porch and everything, and all the weeds that were around. Sprayed it all, cleaned up the yard, cut the grass, the whole thing, because I gave her my old tractor. Got all that stuff done. And then I came home and I thought, okay, I'm going to do a little laundry. And I grilled out last night. I sat out back. I grilled out 2 brats, threw a little sauerkraut on them, had my one final beer for the weekend. And that was my night. And then I just listened. It was probably about 8:30. I hit a wall. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs and lay down. By 9:30, I was out, like snoring, choking on yourself, that kind of thing. That was a weekend. It was a glorious weekend. But so there you go.
And it ended on a high note too with Mizrowski yesterday.
Yes.
It is pretty nice to just kind of assume the Brewers are going to win when he's pitching. It's nice to get to that point with the pitcher where I can just, you can never assume anything. At one point this season, they lost, I think, 4 straight starts of his. But now that the offense is healthy and the team is, kind of back to normal, you can just kind of pencil in a win on a day like yesterday. And I went golfing. I missed the last couple of innings.
Did you really? Yeah. That's right. You did say you wore your Brewers hat. Where'd you play?
Glenn. We just walked 9 in Madison.
Okay.
It was fun. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah. That's what Kristen wants to do. She's got golf outings coming up. She's like, can we just go to the club? Even if we go hit balls? I said, let's just go play 9. So I don't know when we're going to do it. Maybe sometime this week or next, but we're going to do that. So anyway, but that was it, man. That was, I accomplished so much. And where else did I ride yesterday? I rode down to Burlington, down to see Tim. That was where I rode. I put like 200 miles on the bike. It was glorious. It was just awesome. Just to get out and ride this week. No, not this week. Next week, next Monday or Tuesday, I get the boat back. So I'm excited about that. So I'm just, I'm giddy with on myself. And I saw Dave and Leanne Hawk, who have not only the Third Ward Beer Garden, but they own the Bud Pavilion. And so we're excited about opening up the Bud Pavilion tomorrow and tomorrow night. The Glam Band takes the stage. So we're excited about that and getting back to Wednesday Night Live and just, all that kind of stuff. So, man, it was good. It was good. All right, I'm done. Did you watch the end of the Indy 500?
No, I missed it by about a half hour.
Oh, my God. That was fantastic. So here's the thing. I had to leave, so I taped it. So I was taping the Indy 500 because we had to go to Solo. And I told everybody, don't tell me about it. I don't want to hear about it. That's my thing, man. I don't want to hear about it. Don't tell me about it. Some guy next to me who rides on our motorcycle ride, comes over and says hello and everything. And he goes, man, what a finish to the 500. I just yelled at him, shut up. Right away. I don't want to hear it. Don't tell me about it. He's talking to his buddy. I'm like, stop, go. If you got to talk about it, go away. I'll go away. Just, talk about it and then be done with it. I don't want to hear about it. So I came home. I'm like, oh God, I can't wait. So, because everybody was like, oh my God, you see the end of that? Shut up. So I turned it on. I turned on the DVR and I picked it up at about, I don't know, lap 32. So I sat down the rest of the night. Like, okay, this is great. I'm watching it. And what I forgot to do was tape the next hour after the 500. I got down to 31 laps to go, and the tape ended, or the DVR ended. I'm like, son of a... So I had to Google, and then you watch, the last 8 minutes of the race,
Which is still pretty good. It's cool that we have that capability in 2026.
Can I ask a question without seeming like an ass?
Always.
Why do we have a British commentator?
I'm the wrong person to ask. I think it gives a prestige, sophistication.
I guess. I just, because if you watch the video of him with the other 2 drivers that were there in the booth as the color commentator, the dude's a banana. Certainly an exciting call, but he's screaming to scream. And I get it. It was exciting, but it was, I don't know. It's like, why do we have a British? Do we not have anybody from the Americas that is capable of calling the end of the Indy 500? I just wanted to question it. I guess there is a bias there. I don't know. I don't know why, but it just is. So throw it out there.
I always thought the IndyCar, you know, like what's the Formula 100? Like
Formula
I always
One,
think
yeah.
Somebody with an accent just kind of adds a little
Internationally,
same with golf, a little prestige, a little sophistication. Right. Doesn't even matter what kind of accent. Italian, French, Australian. It's just something. Ooh, it's international. It feels bigger.
It's Formula One. Formula One races overseas more than they do here. So I completely get it. No problem. No problem at all. Le Mans, I get it.
That one makes more sense.
IndyCar has the word Indy in it. We can't find anybody from even the Midwest that's capable of calling the race for the Indianapolis 500. Just wanted to throw it out there. It's not that he's a bad guy, because he knows his stuff and he's good, but it just was like, there's some, maybe it's OG in me. I don't know. I go back to the days of, I don't know, just different. Maybe ABC had it years and years and years ago. They had it for forever, it seemed like. And it just, you know, it was Chris Schenkel and it was the old school guys. And now I'm dating myself here, but it just went from that to the screaming to scream Brits that have the airways. I don't know. And oh, by the way, did you see Danica Patrick? That girl's jacked up. That girl is ripped up almost too much. Almost. Now, I follow her on Instagram, but they showed her walking over and getting her makeup done and everything everybody's doing for her. But man, she's jacked up. Yeah, Jackie Stewart. But Jackie Stewart was a color commentator. He wasn't the play-by-play guy. You know, he wasn't the play-by-play guy. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Chris Economaki. It was somebody else. It was the dude from Wide World of Sports. And I can't remember the dude's name. I can't remember it. So anyway, but man, Danica Patrick's jacked up. Now, like I said, I follow her on IG, and she does all these workouts and all these things that she's doing, and she's lifting weights and heavier. But she's sitting there in that dress, and it's like, wow, man, she's ripped. I mean, like, even to the point where she had veins and stuff sticking out of her neck. Like, she might have gone a little bit overboard. So anyway. But that was a weekend. Jim McKay, thank you very much, Judge Smales burner account. Jim McKay. Oh, God, I love Jim McKay. You the man. You the man. That right there. There you go. Thank you very much. That's awesome. All right, let's do this. That was the weekend. So hopefully you enjoyed the weekend. Hopefully your weekend was fantastic. And thank you very much. Also, Ty Runner, thank you. Thank you. Randall, thank you. Everybody. But yeah, veins in the neck, man. Veins in the neck. She's ripped up. All right, let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back, and the Brewers sit 2.5 games up. The Brewers, even through losing 2 out of 3 over the weekend, have something to smile about, at least Brewers fans. Because when we left the airwaves on Friday, we had made a statement. And when we come back to the airwaves today, that statement is still true. And I'll tell you what it is when we return. Don't go anywhere. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We got to play better. We got to swing the bats better. We got to pitch better. We need more guys, contributing to good stuff. And as coaching staff, we got to figure out a way to get the players there. We're offensively, we are equipped to be way more consistent than this and way better than this. And we need to show it.
That's a little foreshadowing, isn't it? I like it. I have got an announcement to make here in a minute or two as well. But if today's one of those days, you're back at it, you've grilled out, you've done everything over the weekend, unless you got a whole bunch of leftovers today, you got Brewers, just take it easy. Just take it easy. Join the sub club over there at Cousin Subs. Get yourself a hearty sub, whether it's just going face first and giving yourself some comfort food like that pepperoni melt with the extra mayo, extra cheese. You get some of the hot ones, you get some of the cold ones, you get the turkey, you get a little bit healthier. Otherwise, just go whole hog, get the curds, get the shake, and then just face first, man, like you're going to the electric chair later on tonight. Join the sub club, by the way, and you'll eventually earn a free one, which tastes the best, by the way. Go to cousinsubs.com. That's cousinsubs.com. That is cousinsubs.com. When we left the airwaves on Friday, I had said, I hope it continues. I said, the Cubs have not won a game since PCA had the meltdown, telling the woman who was heckling him, why don't you go ahead and do something orally to me, B-word. And since then, and I can say this again, I can still say this, they haven't won a game. And did you see yesterday again, Grant, PCA, ball got under the glove, man. Went to the wall. Did you see the error again yesterday?
Flailing around out there.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Because I'm checking, I'm like, oh, man, okay, let's see. Brewers got to win. What are the Cubs doing? Oh, they're losing. Let me check this out. And then they say, here's the highlight. And the highlight was PCA turning around going, okay, it happened again. Oh, boy, he has just put his game in a dumper since he had the meltdown against the woman in Chicago in the White Sox game. I love it. Just love it. So the Cubs have now lost 9 straight. 9 straight. They went from 5.5 games up on the Brewers to now 3.5 games behind the Brewers. I love it. Brewers 2.5 games up on St. Louis, but man, it's just which is the reason I'm keeping right now on the desk behind me. You still got the Barrel Man throwing the punch on the Cubby Bear on the I-94 rivalry. I mean, I know they're not playing one another right now, but I'm not taking it down until the Cubs win. I'll just leave it there. Leave it there, hopefully for a long, long, long time. But right now, the Brewers are beating up on the Cubs. Cubs, 3.5 games back. They're in third. Cincinnati finally got themselves a couple of back-to-back wins. They're 4 back, and Pittsburgh is 4.5 back. Everybody in the National League Central still over 500, by the way. 28 and 26, that's the Pirates. 28 and 25 is the Reds. 29 and 25 on up from there. But the Brewers, 31 and 29 games over, 11 games over 500 right now. That's where the Brewers are at. So I like it. Brewers still 5 wins behind Atlanta for the best record in the National League, and 3 games, behind the Dodgers, who walked away with a couple of wins over the weekend over the Brewers. But nevertheless, not a bad way to go. I'm excited. For those that were kind of going, okay, here we go. I kept saying, remember, I did a piece. It was actually on the pumps. It was actually on the Quick Trip pumps, and I got blowback off of that. How can you say this? The Brewers, they're already faltering, and this is going to be a long season. I said, wait a minute. Whoa. Hold your water. Because they're 5.5 back. I get it. But you were missing 3 cogs in your lineup. You had some pitching ailments. All you got to do is just stay in the rearview mirror. Remember me saying that? Just stay in the rearview mirror. That's it. Weather the storm. This might be the best the Cubs do all season long, is the 20-3 stretch, right? This might be the best they do. So just weather the storm. That's it. And once you get back to full strength, eventually the Cubs will come back down to earth a little bit and things will begin to happen. Just hold your water. And here we are. Now, I'm not sitting here after Memorial Day going, told you so, because they haven't won a damn thing yet, right? They haven't won anything. But from where they were, 5.5 back, to now 3.5 on top. Do the math. That's a 9-game swing. A 9-game swing. You got to love it, right? 9-game swing on the Cubs. They were on top of the world. Everything was great. You were listening to Chicago radio, and it made you sick for what they were saying. Now, I mean, that was one of my joys yesterday. Driving back home after cutting the grass. That was one of my joys, listening to a Chicago radio. It is like fire and brimstone. The world is ended. It is mass hysteria. And that's just the teen takeovers down there. That's not even Cubs fans yet. They're just killing over there on council, PCA, the bringing in Bregman. I mean, just anything they can get their teeth into, they're hating on right now down there. On everything. I just sat back and smiled. There were times I was driving home, and I'm giggling, listening to Cubs fans. I'm literally giggling. So took a lot of joy in that yesterday. I guess
Craig
I shouldn't.
Counsell sounds impassioned and motivated and inspired, honestly, to turn that thing around in every clip that I hear him talk about the team and this losing streak. Mm-hmm. You got to play better. And he did a long media sit down that I watched yesterday where he was talking about the 2 10-game winning streaks. And he basically said, like, it stretches of baseball like that might make you feel like you're really good, but then, you turn it and, you learn later that maybe you just got all the breaks. And I'm like, right. Well, wait a minute. So maybe the Cubs aren't as good as we thought. And maybe it's wild to have 2 10-game winning streaks and to say that they're flukes, but baseball can be weird like that. Mm-hmm. It's weird to hear him basically admit to that. Like, maybe we're not that good. Right. Maybe we just got a lot of breaks in those stretches. Yep.
So I'm giddy, man. I'm excited. Craig Counsell right now going, you can hear the frustration in his voice. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Will he be fired at the end of the season if they again continue to falter? 877, and I don't wish that on him. Let me say that right away. I don't wish that on him. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. All right. We're going to talk to Mike Clemens when we come back, but I did want to say that we are coming to Eau Claire. Remember last year was this time, Grant, you and I did the Bill and Grant's Excellent Adventure. Mm-hmm. Next, not this Thursday, but next Thursday is the Junior Achievement Golf outing out at the Wild Ridge. I return to the scene of the crime. If you want to go with me, you can go with me. Taking the RV. But yeah, we're heading back to Wild Ridge. I just got word today, and I completely apologize because I forgot to get back in touch with them to say, hey, yeah, we're coming, but we're coming. And looking forward to it. So back to Wild Ridge Golf Course, June 4th for the Junior Achievement Golf Outing, and going back, I don't know, it's just my 11th year or 12th year or something like that. I think we only missed one or two because of COVID. But back again this year. So excited about that. So heading back to the Eau Claire area and heading back to the Junior Achievement Golf Outing at Wild Ridge Golf Course Thursday, June 4th. And after we do some stuff on the stage down at Wednesday Night Live, then heading out to Eau Claire that night, getting up for the show the next morning. So excited about that. All right, coming up next, I'm looking forward to it. Mike Clemens is going to be joining us. By the way, this portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over there at Stenny's. They were hanging out with Grant Bills this past weekend down at 2nd and National Walker's Point. And good food, really good food, great award-winning Bloody Marys, and maybe just a great time running shuttles to all the games. If you're heading to the game tonight, stop into the Stenny. Stop at the one on Watertown Road in Pewaukee, 2nd and National Walker's Point. Either one, they can get you there. Don't forget, they've got the new location, West Dodges Bay Road in Mequon, the old Libby Montanas, with a hockey rink behind it. No more with the volleyball courts. Hockey rink behind it now. Stenny's, 3 locations, 2nd and National Walker's Point, Watertown Road in Pewaukee, Dodges Bay Road in Mequon. And as they say, at all of them, you should be here. Mike Clemens, next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Chuck, I see you have a 4.8 review rating on Trustpilot. Nice.
Our staff is so proud of their over 8,000 stellar reviews on Trustpilot. One of the best reasons to do business with Dollar Loan Center is our amazing bank-like locations and real, live, friendly staff.
I know your Madison customers just love your staff.
And so do I. We're so different than the average payday, check cashing, or title loan joints. We lend more and give more time to pay back. Look, our locations are amazing. Great music on, and you immediately feel comfortable and welcome, like banks used to be. Another thing we do that banks used to do is actually lend money.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by in Janesville or Beloit now, or soon in Beaver Dam and Sun Prairie. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Today is Free Tab Tuesday. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You can get a free meal, free beverages, everything. You know how? You stop in, go to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill later this afternoon, this evening. Watch a Brewers game. And at some point in the evening, they draw a number. If the number is your table number, everything at your table is free. I kid you not. Free Tab Tuesday. That's what it is. You got a shot. You got 1 in 40-something shot at winning it, which is not a bad way to go. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, Pewaukee Lake, Lakeview Boulevard. They've got the Brewers game on coming up later on tonight. They got the free darts all evening, but it's Free Tab Tuesday, my friends. So take a shot. Go in. Just enjoy your food, your beverage, and who knows, maybe by the end of the night, it is all free. Free, which we all know. If it's free, it's for me. That's the way we live our life, right? Joining us now, our guy, Mike Clemens, is joining us on the hotline, who was at the ball yard pretty much all weekend long. Michael, how you doing, pal?
Good, except Sunday morning we came in to watch the Game 3 of the Dodgers series, and the team had gotten word that Charlie Moore had passed away in Alabama at the age of 72. Charlie came up as a catcher. His dad said, he was a star quarterback and baseball player, and he said, son, if you want to get into the major leagues, you got to learn to be a catcher. Those guys are hard to find. Yeah. And that was his ticket in. So he would come back to Wisconsin for golf outings and things like that. There's a great interview with Charlie that I linked up to my Twitter account that's at Mike Clemens NFL, so we'll check that out. But, yesterday let me ask you this, because I didn't have a chance to ask Murph this. Would they have scheduled The Miz for Game 1 of this series against a divisional opponent as opposed to maybe the day before when the Dodgers were in town? when you're thinking it's out 10, 11 days in advance.
Yeah. I think it's just kind of the way it fell, right? I think it's the way the schedule fell.
You just do it every 5 days and whatever, right?
Right.
Whatever. I wondered about that because I would have liked to see him against those guys from L.A. But anyway, Jacob Mizorowski was his day, Memorial Day. He's out there on the mound, huge crowds all weekend long, and he's got it. And he's throwing 100 miles, 101, 102, gets it up to 103. He had a record of 28, 29 consecutive innings without giving up a run. Finally, the Cardinals got one. I think it was around the 5th or 6th inning or so. But he had a no-hitter going through the 6th inning. He came out and, for the 7th as well, pitched 100 pitches. 57 of them were 100 miles an hour or more. Mm-hmm. New Major League Baseball record, franchise records he's shattering. And so then we went to the Miz after the game and asked him, about with those numbers and that new MLB record, was he aware of that? And has he been working on his endurance to get up to 7 innings?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in the offseason, that was the focus. And, I think it came out better on the other side. So, yeah, I do feel stronger, but nothing crazy.
Did you have fun today?
Yeah, of course. It's always fun. It's always fun to play baseball. So, no, it was just another day.
Does that number mean anything to you? Is it surprising?
No.
Just another day?
Yeah, that's what I do. I throw hard, so.
It's and that's what he does. I mean, he's getting recognized for it, not only on the MLB network, but on ESPN. I was listening to some of the talk shows driving around yesterday, Mike. But it's fun with this young group of guys that they come to Milwaukee or come up through the system, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're seeing the fruits of the Matt Arnold's labor. Another guy that's really kind of had some success, and they were talking about this yesterday in the postgame show, Andrew Vaughn. It's not like he went from team to team to team to team to team and suddenly found it in Milwaukee. He was drafted by the White Sox. They feel like, well, he's a bust. He's not going to pan out. And then he comes to Milwaukee, and all of a sudden he has kind of found his stroke, specifically since coming back from injury.
And I'll tell you another thing. I keep on finding things that this Brewers coaching staff does to help both the hitters and the pitchers. There's a lot of really good detailed coaching going on. And that's why a lot of these guys come up that way, particularly with all these young players that they've got.
Right.
And I mean, really, I'm not just, reading out of some sort of out of the media guide or something. I keep comparing notes when I go to these other clubs because, like we do with football, we visit both teams. And Andrew Vaughn goes 3 for 4 again yesterday, and he was asked, has he seen the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, improve in his time that he's been with Milwaukee?
Yeah, it's been electric stuff. I've kind of got to watch him evolve over the last year, really come into his own. And, for him, I think the biggest thing is throwing strikes, and he's doing that. That fastball is probably the best in the game. It's awesome to watch.
If you had to face him, what would your approach be?
Try to hit the heater. That's what you got to try to do. And, he's got 2 other great pitches, so makes it tough at that.
Not only has he developed 2 other pitches, but his fastball now has movement, which he didn't have a lot of last year. Now he's got movement. And one of the things he went away for in the offseason, Mike, he added strength and weight. He added weight to his legs. He did a lot of leg work to be able to be stronger in later innings and to be able to pitch longer as well. Now, his last outing, I think he only threw like 70-something pitches, and they pulled him. This one, like you said, they went to 100. But it all started with the offseason workouts and getting his legs and stamina up.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is that I want you to notice that some of these other players, too, how smart they are in terms of breaking things down as to what their teammate is doing, how they might approach a pitcher like that. And you go to the captain. You go to Christian Yelich, who had a nice 2-run homer to pretty much – they got their points on the board because the Cardinals threw some pretty good pitching at the Brewers yesterday. But the Brewers got the early lead and went on to win 5-1 against the Cardinals on Memorial Day. So you go to Yelich. And he was talking about, when you consistently hit the strike zone, when you got a fastball like that, and it makes the batter say, okay, I can barely see this thing, but I have to trust it because he's hitting the box. And so I've got to take it seriously, and that's what makes the Miz so dangerous, according to Christian Yelich.
Yeah, it's obviously really impressive, and this year he's filled the zone up a lot and really limited the walks. And when you can prove that you're in the zone with that, then you get guys in swing mode, and it becomes a really tough at bat. Obviously, he's throwing 103.
I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
And I had a cut I wanted to play from Pat Murphy, who breaks this down in terms of, like you say, and what Mizorowski has done to build up his body. And just like quarterbacks, just like Aaron Rodgers talked about for years, throwing comes from the feet up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good footwork, strong legs. And Pat Murphy says good pitching starts with the feet and the legs.
He conditioned himself. You can tell all those young pitchers out there, you have to have a lower half. And he's put together a great lower half. He's worked at it in his life. And now the delivery is sound. When the timing is sound, the delivery is sound. So at foot strike, the hand is in the right position. And then you take a kid with that extension, 7, whatever extension, and he's throwing the ball 100, and then God knows, 101, 102. And it's pretty easy. It's not max effort.
Some of these guys, I go back to the last series when the Yankees were here, and they were asked, how do you hit the Miz? And they said, we're just throwing the bat at it and hoping the bat hits the ball. You can't figure it out, and you can't react fast enough just because of the heat with which he throws. It looked like some of the Cardinal hitters yesterday were just kind of like, okay, if I can just get the bat on the ball, just something, just foul it off and call yourself lucky.
Yeah, but how many times have you heard Pat Murphy talk to us about a talent like Abner Uribe, who came in, he threw 103 miles an hour his first night in the park 3 years ago in August. And you get excited about that. And Murph keeps on saying, 103 is nice, but it doesn't count how many digits you got. You have to move the ball in this league.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many good hitters in this league. They'll figure out a way to hit 100 miles an hour. So you've got to find ways and that's how Uribe was finally able to advance to a closer when he got his slider in. That Murph is trying to move the ball a little bit. As you heard Andrew Vaughn say, he's got 2 or 3 pitches now that he puts in the arsenal. It's not just the heater. It's just not the fastball. So I went into the Cardinals clubhouse thinking that because Ollie Marmol, their manager, new manager, young guy, I wanted to ask him, what are your batters reporting back when they come out there with it out? And so after Marmol did his TV interview for the St. Louis Cardinals TV network, here was just me and 2 other reporters in Marmol's office, and it got kind of weird.
Are there days where the guy's stuff is just so damn good it doesn't matter?
You don't face that no one does that.
Yeah.
So you take your best shot and keep moving. But yeah, his stuff was really good.
Well, it seems like even the approach you were talking about, if you guys were at your best, he was at his today.
Yeah, he did a nice job.
Okay.
Yeah, he really did. It's impressive.
And he moves the ball a lot. Mizorowski does. Besides just the outrageous velocity.
Yeah, ball moves pretty good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is there something hard about his delivery? And it's going to take 2 or 3 times for these guys.
How many times have you seen this guy throw?
5, 6 times.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not in the box.
You don't have to be in the box. You be at your damn house. What the hell are we talking about right now? Yeah. If you need a quote, that's fine. But damn it.
But is that one of those things where you can look at film, you can talk, you can do whatever, but until you see that, it's just almost impossible to prepare for.
He's a real good talent, and it's a combo of velo, but he also just does a really nice job of pitching. Today was a tough day. Yeah.
It looks like anybody else, right? I mean, he was also really good today. I mean, Murph says major league hitters will climb up a jet plane. So, first time in, but second time, third time through, he was still decent. That's what I'm asking, is how do you prepare for that?
Are we done?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No more Miz chatter. He ate our team up, and I have no answer and nothing to say.
Are we done?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Are we done?
I mean, I can get a better breakdown from Andrew Vaughn. I get a better breakdown on this guy. This guy is in the dugout for the Cardinals. He's looking and he's like, oh, my God. This guy's 24. He's in my division. And I'm looking at this like the next, 3 or 4 years? Oh, my. I mean, He was shell-shocked.
Mhm.
He has no answer.
At your damn house.
The house. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. We'll break. Mike Clemens joining us on the hotline. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more with Mike as we kind of wrap up some Brewers coverage coming up here momentarily. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Road America this weekend. Here they come. Moto America, the Superbikes next up, and it is going to be screaming through the hills and ups and downs over there in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America, the National Park of Speed. Season passes, corporate sponsorship, on-site camping. It is all available. Tickets are on sale right now, whether it's for that, SCCA June Sprints. IndyCar is going to come a-calling after that spectacular finish with Rosenquist over the weekend. 800-365-7223, 800-365-7223. That is Road America, or simply go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com. And we are going to have a blast up there when IndyCar comes a-calling. Road America, your National Park of Speed.
Are we done?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show on this Tuesday edition. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Going back to it, Mike Clemens who was at the ballpark over the weekend. Been there quite a bit this year. Packers getting ready to get back to the OTAs, so Mike will be up at Lambeau as well. But nevertheless, Mike, Packers, or I should say Packers, Brewers, they get the win yesterday. They're 2.5 games up. The Cubs are continuing to free fall with 9 in a row that they have lost, which we all smile over. And the fact is the Brewers have now beaten at least once, hopefully twice by the time the series has ended, the St. Louis Cardinals, who's the team that's directly in the rearview mirror of the Brewers. But the Cardinals are actually not bad. They're not having a bad season for what's considered to be a rebuild year.
And over the weekend, the Dodgers media was here. Huge contingent of folks from L.A. and the NHL Japanese network. And one of those guys asked them about Pat Murphy, like, what do you say to the end of your batting order? The guys that are at 7, 8, 9, like the Joey Ortizes or the David Hamiltons, about what their approach to the game is. And here's the Murph.
Be really good offensive players. There's no like strategy other than get the first. That's our strategy of 1 through 9. Get the first. If they don't want to throw you the ball over the plate. Now, there's different ways to get the first down. We can smash the ball and have it land on the grass. We can smash the ball and have it land in the paid seats. Or we can take a walk or a hit by pitch or a catcher's interference, and we get the first. So somehow to get the first. Then at first we got decisions to make. We can run to second. It's called a stolen base. Or we cannot do that, but be a threat to steal second, which could cause some trepidation in the pitcher, which could leave the ball down the middle, which could have a guy hit it in the gap. Therefore, he can touch first and also touch second. So, yeah, have those guys get the first. Have tough at-bats, get the first. Do what they do, whatever they're kind of like. They have to have this awareness. How do I help this team win? What do I do? The bottom of the order does not mean they don't hit. It just means these are the guys that are going to hit the least. They have to be effective. They have to be able to bring something to the offensive table. And they have to be well aware of what makes them tick. And that's way harder than you think.
But it's a simple philosophy of you're just doing anything and everything you can just to get to first, which means if you're not striking out, get your on-base percentage up.
And a quick story from Friday night. There's Logan Henderson, the young kid. He's up against the defending world champs, the Dodgers. Freddie Freimund, everybody knows what a classy guy he is. Murph talks about him all the time. Gets into the batter's box, and before the first pitch, looks at the kid and gives him a hello nod. Like, did I just see that on the scoreboard, on the monitor? And so after the game, I asked Logan, did that really happen? He goes, yeah. And then Logan went and struck him out. I asked Murph about it. He goes, Freddie's the best. I asked Dave Roberts about it. He goes, yeah, that sounds like Freddie. And I went to Freddie. I said, did you actually do that?
Yeah, always.
You do that?
Always. It's really hard to make it to the big leagues. I want to make sure everyone knows how hard it is and how much hard work it takes to get here. So just the hats off to every big league guy that gets here. I know he's been here a couple starts, but still it's the first time I've seen him get this, and just give him a little head nod because it's a lot of hard work to get to the big leagues.
I caught that.
Yeah.
He caught that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Michael, we will talk again this week. OTA is getting underway.
I'll talk to you tomorrow from Green Bay.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. There you go. Mike Clemens. We've got 1 hour down, 3 more yet to go. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more of the Bill Michael Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, that's a 5-1 victory for the Milwaukee Brewers as Jacob Mizorowski matched a career high with 12 strikeouts and carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning. And Christian Yelich had a 2-run shot while Andrew Vaughn went 3 for 4 as the Brewers now sit 2.5 games above the Cardinals for first place in the NL Central. Here's more from manager Pat Murphy on the starting pitcher, Jacob Mizorowski.
He conditioned himself. You can tell all those young pitchers out there, you have to have a lower half. And he's put together a great lower half. He's worked at it in his life. Now the delivery is sound. When the timing is sound, the delivery is sound, So that foot strike, the hand is in the right position, and then you take a kid with that extension, 7 whatever extension, and he's throwing the ball 100, and then God knows 101, 102, and it's pretty easy. It's not max effort.
The Brewers now sit 31-20 on the year, good for first place in the NL Central, and will continue on with their series against the St. Louis Cardinals. First pitch coming today at 6:40.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to yourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
The Green Bay Packers will begin their OTAs today. It will be sessions broken into 3 weeks across May and June. Now, this is all voluntary besides mandatory minicamp starting June 9th to the 11th. And finally, Wisconsin football is preparing for their matchup September 6th against Notre Dame at Lambeau Field under the lights. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome, Bill Michaels Show, the Tuesday edition, short week edition. So glad you're back with us. Beautiful day, warming up, 88 degrees, they're saying today, depending on where it is in the great state of Wisconsin you are. If you want to chime in, 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. That's the phone number. If you want to text us, we appreciate the text messages. I'll get to some of them coming up. 608-321-1670. 608-321-1670. Put it in your phone. Save it. 608-321-1670. Over on YouTube, you can subscribe for free. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show, Michaels. On Twitter, on X, @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Michaels. Find Grant at Wisco Grant. Our app is Wisco Sports Zone. 3 words, put them all together. Email the program, the Bill Michaels @gmail.com. The website simply thebillmichaels.com. Instagram, and you've been following us over the weekend. We continue to appreciate everybody that tries to follow us or does follow us on all the video shorts and stuff that we do. You can find us over there at the Bill Michaels Show on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. You can also watch us on the Twitch app, the Kick app, and the LinkedIn app as well if you follow me there. Catch the show, the television show, which is in Milwaukee, 8 o'clock Central Time, Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time, Saturday night on My 24 TV in Milwaukee, My 24 TV in Milwaukee. So there you go. Plenty of ways to track us down. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Want to hear from you. So, John Hansen, I should say, says, will the roof be open? How can fans find out prior to? Go Brewers. There might be some kind of a criteria on their website, but for the most part, I don't think we really know. We don't know till we get there. Don't know till we get there. Just an FYI. Most of the time, you can kind of tell by, what day it's, what day it is, and if it's nice and sunny or if it's rainy or what the prediction is. But I think if, for the most part, it's just, like I said, you can look outside and kind of say, yeah, today's going to be a day that the roof's going to be open. If it's got a chance of rain or showers or thunderstorms or a cool breeze coming off the lake or something, then they'll close it up. Simple as that. 877-867-1670. Niven Corey joining us over on the Instagram side. Ron Frace 7. Mulem 58. Ryan Lockington. Appreciate everybody over there on Instagram. As a matter of fact, just giving us a couple of buzzes right there. If you see right 4952 behind me. So awesome that people are following. And I didn't in the first hour, and thank you for reminding me, I didn't recognize our friends. There's nothing like the view from the Chiefs. Our streamers every day. Thank you so much. I was at Solu Winery on Sunday for a birthday party, and one of the people that live in that area had come over to me and said, I want to thank you I watch every day. His name's Mike, watches every day. And he said, I watch a lot of different podcasts and streams. I said, okay. He said, I want to thank you. You're the only one that recognizes us who tune in that way. Everybody else just kind of glosses over it, just assumes that you're there. But he said, you're the only one that actually recognizes us, and we've got a catchphrase, and we are a group of people that just kind of get together. And he said, I know it's funny because we all talk and we all banter back and forth. We all give each other blank, give each other stuff. But you're the only one that recognizes us. And he said, it's cool that they have the Cheap Seats theme. So I said, hey, we wouldn't be anything without you guys and girls for that matter. Angela and Cindy and everybody that's regulars over there. So thanks to everybody for joining us over in the Cheap Seats. There you go. What do we have here? This is from Anthony. Anthony says, the fact that the Cubs are still flying the L for this length of time just makes me smile. My Cubs friends here in Eau Claire, Anthony listening to us in Eau Claire, my Cubs friends here in Eau Claire continually say that the Cubs are going to pull out of the nosedive. They're going to overtake the top spot in the division. I find it hard to believe this Cubs team is struggling. Yes, they have injuries, but the Brewers are finally back on top. That's where they belong. Fly the L, my friends. Fly the L. There you go. Out of the 563, Darren from Keeler says, I did not see the game, but is it true that the Dodgers were stealing some signs during the game? Here's my question, Doug. How? How can they steal signs? Now, they can maybe look into the dugout and see what Murphy's saying, hey, but for the most part, the little thing that the catchers have on their knee that has the 3 different pitches or whatever, or 4 different pitches or 5 different pitches in it, they use that and it goes into the ear of the pitcher. I don't know how they would steal signs.
I think so. First of all, when teams have somebody on second base, they're always looking for stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like every single team is always looking for tells, whether you're in the batter's box or you're trying to relay things from second base. I think the issue with Robert Gasser, and Murph talked about this after the game, is he wasn't concealing his grips and his tells, which you just have to do. Like it's not as simple as the catcher's putting down the number 2. It's somebody at second base can look and see a grip, or someone in the box can look and see like how you're angling your glove or how you doing stuff like that. That's on the pitcher to, and this happened with Devin Williams too. Like it's on the pitcher to conceal those things and to cover their tracks the best they can.
Yeah. I mean, if a pitcher is tipping his pitches, that's who cares if they're stealing signs or figuring out, how you tip your pitches. Kudos to them. Because we would not complain about it if the Brewers were doing it. If the Brewers knew, if we went into Chicago and the Brewers knew when Imanaga, what he does and when he does it and how he throws a particular pitch and what he does in his glove prior to throwing the ball, we don't care. So if they were, kudos to their scouting department. And it's something that the Brewers are going to have to figure out. Period. Because they got to get guys that don't tip their pitches. But as far as stealing signs, I don't think there's a way to do that anymore. Unless, of course, you're talking about, a guy on first and suddenly you're picking out whether or not a guy's going to steal and when he's going to steal. Okay. Well, again, kudos to them.
But then again, you're not stealing the signs. You're noticing that the pitcher does this thing with his arm when he throws off speed, or you're seeing the grips from behind and you're signaling like Andy Pajes is straight, or is it Andy Pajes or whoever, straight up signaling to home plate, like with an arm. But that's not a sign. I can see how the pitcher's holding the ball because he's not covering it up.
Yep. Look, the whole sign stealing thing, short of using the electronics, which is what we found out was being done with people with smart watches and all that kind of stuff. Whatever. The stealing of signs, it's gone on forever. You got to figure out a way to cover it up. Period. End of story. I don't care. People get all bent out about it because if it happens to your team, you hate it. If it favors your team, you love it. So it's kind of like the torpedo bats last year. It was people have been using them for a couple of years. Suddenly, everybody on the New York Yankees is beating the hell out of the baseball and pounding on the Brewers, and suddenly they want torpedo bats outlawed. It's like, no, stop. You still got to hit the damn ball. When you're throwing meatballs and BBs, it's going to get hit, and they rocketed you. And after that, you settle down, you won a lot of games. Torpedo bats had nothing to do with it. So it just, I don't care. I hope the Brewers steal signs. Now, the only time you cannot steal signs, go back to the NFL and what was going on with Bill Belichick and the whole Spygate thing. Well, they were flat out videotaping people and videotaping anything and everything they could possibly get their hands on to do things that were not kosher. That was outside of the realm of the scope of the game. But baseball, I don't care. If you steal signs or you can tip pitches, there you go. Figure it out. Brewers have done it before. Buckshot Bobby said, I stole a speed limit sign once when I was a teenager. So, there you go. Oh, that's great. He also said, hey, Bill, if you were a PCA, if you were in his shoes and somebody was yelling smack at you, how would you have advised one to respond? Not the way he did.
So not that. Let's start there.
I have had many of responses in my life. Some of them very creative, not vulgar like that. And I've had a few responses where I've just completely shut people down, and I do it in almost a comical way. I'm not doing that. You know, I'm not doing that. So you just can't. You just can't do it. You know, you're going to be videotaped. Everybody's got a camera. Everybody's got a video. Everybody's got a phone where they're going to get you to do something. And that's exactly what they got. And when you scream out and I'm going to clean it up here, but the orally gratify me B word to her, you can't do it. You just can't do it. And some will say, well, you know, it got the best of him. You know what? He's the only player this season that has had that caught on camera saying that to a fan. Out of all the games that have been played and all the teams that have played, he's the only guy that's been caught on camera saying that to a fan like that. So you can't do it because everybody else in the game has had restraint but you. You can't do it. It's kind of like who is the Pittsburgh wide receiver? Oh, God, that went over to the fan and kind of shoved the fan in Detroit. Oh,
DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. Thank you very much.
When you say the Pittsburgh wide receiver, it's like, well, it could be Antonio Brown, Tavius Bryant, DK Metcalf. They got a long lineage of dramatic wide receivers.
But I get it. Whatever the guy said, he supposedly said it about his family and it was racist. I don't really know. Whatever. But I don't care what they yell. You can't do it. You can't. Can't get caught up in that.
That's part of the gig. Look, racist stuff, it's obviously not okay. You should never say anything about your family. But also, it's like, if I yell at PCA, hey, PCA, your mom's fat.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that that's, you know, it's not in great taste. But I don't think that he's coming after my family. It's like, no, I just, you know, it's like that's a basic insult that people use. I also think when baseball players or whoever get heckled, you know, part of that's the gig. Like, that's why you make a ton of money is because you're put in a giant arena where people pay a bunch of money to come watch you. And part of that is, you know, you have to eat that sometimes. Mm-hmm. That's why you get paid a lot of money. So I'm not saying it's okay to yell inappropriate things at players, but that's kind of sometimes part of the job for a player is like, I just got to hear that and eat it because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to play and I make a lot of money.
Yep.
That's kind of part of it.
Yep. That's exactly it. You can't do it. And here's the thing. I don't think he'll ever do it again because he's been busted publicly for doing it. You know, and here's the other part of this. Even if the fan yells something so egregiously derogatory towards you, towards your kids, most fans, they'll take heat, but it's the response from the player, from the athlete that's making millions that will draw the biggest. Now, if she would have said something derogatory against him, his kids, whatever, and then he would have looked at her and said, what you're saying is really wrong, and I hope you're not too proud of yourself, and walked away, and that made it, people would hate her guts. She'd be a pariah. But his response is what drew the reaction, not what she originally said. And we really didn't really get a chance to really hear what she said anyway, because it's too blurbled, so to speak. But like I said, some of the worst fans that I've ever heard are kids at PGA events. Some of the worst things that I've ever heard said are from kids, underage, between the ages of 12 and 15, kids at PGA events. and parents allow it. That's what was a gas to me when I was working the PGA Championship years ago. I was stunned because some of the things that the golfers were putting up with because they didn't give a kid a glove or a ball, I'd have hit them with a 1 wood, man. I mean, like, are you kidding me? And I'm not talking to kids. I'm talking hitting the parents. Like, how can you allow your kid to say these things? So anyway, but that's me. So, but you can't do it. You can't do it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We got a lot more to get to. Packers back in the practice field beginning tomorrow. We'll hear from Mike Clemens, but the Brewers over the weekend lose 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers, get win 1 against the Cardinals, 2.5 games up now in the division. This portion of our program brought to you by All Nations Solar Electric. And all you got to do is get a hold of Greg, the master electrician. If you got a switch that's not working, if you've got a light that's not lighting, if you got something that's flickering a little bit and you're a little worried about it, or maybe you got a renovation coming up, you're going to build a new home, whatever it is, call Greg, the master electrician, 920-661-7577, serving all of the Fox Valley and northeastern Wisconsin for that matter. And they focus on the energy side of things, whether it's solar, whether it's the power in your home. They just make sure that everything's going good, everything's right, all the switches are in the right place, even your USB ports are working properly, right? Greg is the master at all of this. 920-661-7577, 920-661-7577. Or if you're thinking about going off grid a little bit, putting your own grid up, they do the solar. And that's right there in their name. They are solar, and it's in the name. AllNationsSolarElectric.com. That's AllNationsSolarElectric.com. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Hey, Chuck, what type of loans do you offer at Dollar Loan Center in Madison?
We offer no collateral, signature loans up to $5,000, and the process normally takes less than an hour. We do this at all our locations, or our customers can complete the entire loan process at don'tbebroke.com to save even more time. And when their loan is approved, we do instant funding to the account of their choice or give them cash.
Up to $5,000 cash in minutes? I'm in.
It's free to apply, and new customers get the first week's interest on us. And we charge by the day so they can pay off quickly to save a lot of money or keep the money for up to a year.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by in Janesville or Beloit now, or soon in Beaver Dam and Sun Prairie. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Glorious weekend this past weekend. Out lacrosse, I got a few nice notes from some actually friends that live in Minneapolis that were coming over to catch a Brewers game, and they stopped in lacrosse on the way home. Normally they go through like just below Eau Claire, but no, maybe not. Went via lacrosse and stopped at Buzzer Billy's. Got a nice note, and they ended up getting the even though the Wisconsin beer cheese soup, it was warmer, still had to get it because we talk about it all the time. So they did, and they agreed. It was the best Wisconsin beer cheese soup they've ever had, and that's what I've stated time and again. Whether it's the poutine, which is out of this world, they've got so many great dishes over there. The armadillo eggs, all that kind of good stuff. Sounds weird, but it's not. It's really, really good. They have everything over there at Buzzer Billy's, and the outdoor seating is now open on Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin, in an old 1860s brick hotel. Starlight Lounge upstairs. If you're going for just good craft cocktails, date night, whatever, you got it all in one place. Dinner downstairs, drinks and such, and music upstairs. Great place to go. Starlight Lounge upstairs, Buzzer Billy's downstairs, right there on Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And don't forget the Starlight Lounge. It's that 1950 style cocktail lounge. It's got that great old vibe and feel. Really, really cool upstairs. Great places. Buzzer Billy's, Starlight Lounge, Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Welcome back to the program. I got text messages to get to. I'm going to get to a lot of them. And I got our buddy Steven Manonis said the Cubs sure have been flying that L flag for a long time, haven't they? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. What else do we have? Oh, Adam from Edgar said, by the way, maybe they lost on Saturday, Grant, because you didn't go do the tarp off. Are you a fan of the tarp off, by the way?
I'm indifferent. It's a fun thing for the kids.
Yeah.
That's why I like the 6-7 trend. I think it's a good thing for the kids. I'm glad they have that.
Yeah.
I sang karaoke loudly and drunkenly on the way there in the shuttle,
Okay.
but I kept my shirt on.
Nice. Okay. No, that's okay. John in Eau Claire says, by the way, PCA is a fraud and he's overrated. G-Dog in Atlanta, what are your thoughts on the UFL, United Football League? Do you see any benefits to the NFL? I have not paid a ton of attention to it, to be honest with you. There's always something, if it works in another league, the NFL will grab onto. One of the big things that I remember going back to the, the UFL, was the overhead camera. That was back to the, WWE days when the WWE owned that league, and they were using the overhead camera to take you in huddles and such. And that was one of the things that became indoctrinated into the NFL and its coverage. And now it's everywhere. It's in baseball stadiums. It's everything. So that was one of the things that the innovations anyway, with the coverage of the game. But do I see a benefit? You know what? It keeps guys' dreams alive. And that's all you can hope for. That's it. That's all you can hope for. So 877-867-1670. Hit us up. 877-867-1670. Our buddy Gerard from Delaware is on hold. Gerard, what's going on, man?
Hey, Bill. Good to hear you. You've been doing a lot of adventures lately. I have been. You know what I mean? It's
all over the place.
Really good things that you're doing. But it's really good that you're doing all that stuff. First of all, as a St. Louis Cardinal fan, I think that interview was kind of ridiculous. Momo, I'm always 50-50 on.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very calm guy. You know, the only guy that gets him under his skin was Buckner, the umpire.
Yeah.
But basically, he's pretty calm. But, I mean, the redundancy of those questions was ridiculous. And second of all, people have to calm down. This guy's not throwing 103 miles an hour, okay? They changed the radar gun to taking the speed out of the pitcher's hand, not crossing the plate anymore. So he's really throwing 99, 100 when he's throwing 103. Right. Jordan Hicks, when he was with the Cardinals, and, you know, Chapman, they were throwing 105, 106, blah, 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 blah. But when it crosses the plate, it's a different speed. So they did that to say, sensationalize it, and everybody could say, oh, he's throwing this, he's throwing, and they could put it up on the screen. It's, you know, this is more nonsense to try to fool the people.
You know, and for those that don't know, they did change that years ago, and it did add miles per hour to the pitch count, because they say if 91, 94, 95 for Nolan Ryan back then, he'd be throwing 105 today because of the way, the velocity with which he threw. So I understand that. Yeah, it's changed a little bit for what we've, you know, from when they started charting those pitches with an actual speed gun.
Right, but they make a difference. They take the speed gun out of the pitcher's hand now when they used to across the plate, so it is a 3 mile an hour difference.
Right.
You know, and that sort of thing really bothers me. Those idiot things that they do, because they really try to, you know, fool you. You know, and you can't keep asking the same question over again. You know what I mean? That's you know, I know the Cardinal guys that were in there too, asking the same question too. I don't like that guy in particular, that Cardinal guy. I don't like him at all. Okay. And it's for other reasons. But as far as your guy Giannis, it looks like he's going to be going. I mean, I think that's what you think. What about 99%, Bill? You think?
Oh, I said 60-40. He's probably gone. I leave it more open than that, only for the fact that it's going to take monumental capability to get him out of here, because it's going to be who you are trading. Are you going to be involved with numerous teams to be able to get back in return what they feel Giannis is worth? And then it's going to depend on where, you know, because they keep talking about, well, Cleveland should do it and bring back LeBron and bring back Giannis. And you're going to win a championship with Giannis, LeBron, and then James Harden, who doesn't play defense, and what you just witnessed. It's just like, stop. They just want to run him out to run him out.
Well, the big thing is Boston. Okay. Right. Now he said he would want to go to Boston. That's big in Boston. He did apparently tell some people that he does want to go to Boston. Okay. Because where do you hear this reason? Now, this is a guy making how much money? He wants to be on the East Coast because it's easier to get to Greece. Could you imagine?
Yeah,
Have you heard anything like that in your life? The guy's making how many million, and he's worried about that?
Right. And my argument would be, you fly privately damn near everywhere you go. I don't understand what the difference would be.
You know, and so there's all kinds of rumors coming out of Boston. There's all kinds of packages, all kinds of, but there are legit people saying, like people that you can trust. You know this. Yeah. There are people that you can trust that they are starting to say it. But do I like it, being a Celtic fan? I don't really care. You know, the NBA has disgusted me for the last several years now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. And I really am like, you know, I feel disenfranchised.
Yeah. Oh, I do
That's
too.
That's how I feel now.
I do too. You know? I completely agree. You know, again, look, if that's where he wants to go, then we wish him nothing but the best. To me, it's just going to come down to, what are you going to get in return? Is it worth it? And then you have to weigh the cost factor for what you're going to be losing in return as well.
Yeah. There's a guy, Bill, Chris Mannix. He's pretty reliable. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
And he makes a good point, though. He goes, would you give up Jaylen Brown for him when Giannis is getting older? He has all these soft tissue injuries. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He has different. You know, I don't think Jaylen Brown would go to Milwaukee. I think he'd be part of another trade package. You know.
So you would put him and Jason Tatum together, two guys that get banged up and don't really play a ton because of the injuries over the last couple of years. I mean, do you feel like you've built a championship team if indeed you got to give up Jaylen Brown to do that?
Well, I would. You see, I don't feel I would do that.
Right, I would.
I mean, you win a championship, like he said a couple of years ago, with him and Tatum. So why would you break the whole thing down unless Jaylen Brown really wants out?
Right.
Okay. Now, my point of view on these guys has always been they're very good players that can have tremendous games. They're not superstars. You know what I mean? They're not. Okay. So that and look, all these years in the league, Jaylen Brown still can't go to his left. He dribbles like he has oven mitts on. I mean, there are flaws in these guys' games, big time flaws. You know, and so I would be very careful on I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what so it's like any trade. You tell me what you're going to get, and I'll tell you whether I would make it or not.
Right.
That's the way I feel.
I agree. I appreciate the phone call, Gerard, because I got to run here. I got Chuck Freimund coming up here bottom of the hour. But look, there's been a lot of rumors about where he may or may not go and things that he may or may not have said. And I mean, still facially here as far as the face of the franchise, he still says he wants to be in Milwaukee. I don't know. We're going to have Jim Owczarski on tomorrow to talk a lot about this. I just don't know what to believe anymore until it actually happens. The one thing that I keep coming back to, and I think there is a reality to this, is Milwaukee can pay him $257 million over the next 4 years. There's not a lot of places he can go to get that. And if you're not going to go and automatically win and be a champion almost immediately, why are you leaving Milwaukee and leaving that much money behind? That would be my argument. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. This portion of the program going to be out traveling again in the brand new Forest River, Coachman by Forest River, coming up next week. And Marquardt RV, fantastic. I might even have to stop at Marquardt, as a matter of fact, next week when we're up there. But Marquardt RV is an awesome, awesome place. Love the service that they give, which is second to none, and that's what they pride themselves on. Anybody can sell you anything, right? You can buy anything from anybody, but it's during and after the sale that matters the most, the relationship that you have, not to mention if you can call them up and say, hey, got an issue here, and they say, okay, let's walk you through it or get it in, let's take care of it, whatever it happens to be. They always want to make sure that whatever you pay for, you get the most out of. That is Marquardt RV, and that is their mission statement to you. 8 Wisconsin locations, 10 overall, marquardtrv.com, MARKQUART, marquardtrv.com. Up next, more Brewers chatter. Chuck Freimund, Locked On Brewers podcast is next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Tomorrow is the day we are going to be live at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. Wednesday Night Live is back starting tomorrow night. Gates open up at 6. Music starts at 7. Free admission. The Glam Band takes the stage 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and we're going to be just outside of the Bud Pavilion tomorrow, and hopefully on a beautiful day like this, just kind of sitting under the trees in the sun and looking forward to it. The Third Ward Beer Garden, our buddy Rick Pomeroy from Boo the Band was playing down there. Music on Saturday. They do it all weekend long. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but it was packed. It was just a lot of people. It was hopping. It was a lot of fun down there on Saturday. But Third Ward Beer Garden is open at Catalano Square. But tomorrow, Wednesday Night Live is back at the Wisconsin State Fair Park, and we are going to be there for a live broadcast tomorrow during the day. Now, they're not open during the day, but we're just going to give you kind of the sneak preview on the show, so to speak, as to a Wednesday Night Live at the Bud Pavilion inside the Wisconsin State Fair Park. So really looking forward to that. Let's do this because we bring him in now. He is from the Locked On Brewers podcast. Our guy, Chuck Freimund, is here. Chucker, how you doing, pal?
Michaels, you're probably going to be there during the sound check, right? They do a sound check in the afternoon?
They'll be opening up the doors and blowing all the dust off. They've been out there cleaning the place up for a couple of weeks now, getting it all ready to go. But, Wednesday Night Live, I can't wait. That's like the official kickoff to summer. So now we can feel like we're actually back, which is fantastic.
Oh, I was just checking the weather, man. I think for the next, I hate to jinx it, but like for the next 14 days, looks like we are heading into summer, right?
Yeah,
it's just like, man, it's just, I think like half of this weekend was nice. Friday and Saturday, maybe not great, but Sunday and Monday turned out to be fantastic.
It's awesome. Good stuff. And the Brewers, hey, 2.5 games up. And the bottom line is the Cubs have not won since PCA went off. So I'm loving everything about it.
it's funny because I'm getting messages like, do you think Counsell is going to get fired? And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. He's got 3 years and change left on that deal. I don't think, because number one, they owe him some money. And number two, I think they'd be embarrassed that they'd have to be cutting bait at this point with time to spare on that deal. I would think things would really, I've never seen this before. A team has got 2 10-game winning streaks and a 9-game skid, and it's not even June 1st. They've played a full season, like 2 months of the year so far.
The only thing I can equate this to is when the Brewers started out the season 13-0 and then went 0-13 after that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then they were under 500 by the Memorial Day weekend, which was weird because they were 20-3 at one point.
Right.
Yeah, 1987. Remember that well. And then they still get themselves in the mix in September, but not quite enough to catch Detroit that year.
Well, if you're a Cubs fan, you're saying, well, look, we're only 3.5 games back. As bad as we're playing, we're 3.5 games back. You're still within earshot, which is what I said when the Brewers were 5.5 back. Just hang in the rearview mirror, because eventually they're going to cool off and you start to heat up. You get your players back, you get some offense back, and things will be okay. And they have been for the most part. So now you're just kind of fending off a pesky Cardinals team who, let's be honest, we didn't expect the Cardinals to be here at this point. But kudos to them for actually being here.
Yeah, Bill, the Cardinals, you just never count them out. They might say they're in a rebuilding year, but that's like, one of a handful of franchises that when they say they're rebuilding or whatever, I always put St. Louis in the mix for contending. And so this is not surprising. I told the guy from Locked On Cardinals before the season, he was we're going to be in a full rebuild. It could be a tough year. And I'm like, I just never count you guys out. And yeah, they're off to it would be nice if the Brewers could hand them a couple of more losses this weekend. But this division race, Bill, I feel like this is going to be a crazy year. I mean, the Brewers, I don't know. We might see the Reds come up here and still maybe the Cardinals. Don't count at the Cubs. I know we want to laugh at them, but man, I feel like they're not going to stay down for long. Team Lifeless over there in Chicago is not going to stay this bad for this long. We got a long, fun summer to decide this thing, but it's going to get awfully good, and it's great to be at the Brewers at this point, the day after Memorial Day. Bill, are in first place.
Yeah, the pitching is what's going to matter. I mean, obviously the Brewers are capable of scoring runs, and they did it a little bit against the Dodgers, and they showed that on Thursday night. Obviously, things did not go well for them pitching-wise on Saturday until later in the ballgame. But they can score runs. It's how is their pitching going to hold up? When do they get Woody back, by the way?
Well, that's still to be determined. He's going through his sideline pitching and all that, and him and Priester, those two guys were supposed to be at the top of the rotation this year. And look at Miz and Kyle Harrison, who you're going to see tonight. The starting pitching has been phenomenal for the most part with the Milwaukee Brewers this year, and of course Miz at the very top of that. So, I mean, look at Miz. Talking about him a couple of years ago, we were looking at him as maybe a potential closer. He's top shelf ace of the staff, and he ain't giving it up, man. Right now he's got the best numbers in Major League Baseball. I want to say nobody wants to face this guy when you're throwing 103 and more than half your pitches are over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, consistently. I mean, that guy has just absolutely been phenomenal for the Brewers. Now the rest of the staff, obviously, Gasser did not look good. He didn't pitch bad, although I will say that he wasn't like he got bombed early on, but he didn't pitch bad. But what do you've got a couple of guys that are starting to work their way back. So who do you think is going to be the odd man out before this is all said and done?
Oh, in this rotation?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Logan Henderson's got a little bit of a back issue that Murphy brought up yesterday, so they're going to be monitoring that. And it's like this guy pitches a couple of nice starts and gets rolling. You think he's going to be going a little bit, and then he has a setback. It's just it seems like that's always been the case with not only him, but a few other guys as well. It's at one point there was like 8 guys. You looked at it and said, man, how are they going to fit 5 guys into the starting rotation when they got 8 of them? I think those things eventually weed themselves out. We got to see what's going to go on with Woodruff. I still say with Woodruff at this point, Bill, whatever you get out of him is a bonus. And that's thanks for saying that for a guy you're paying $22 million on. But, coming off, the surgery and all that from a couple of years ago, there's been setbacks and all that. I think this is what the Brewers are just going to have to deal with for the, as long as he's a Milwaukee Brewer.
Don't look now, but his average is coming up. Over the last 37 at-bats, Joey Ortiz is batting a whopping .216. So does that give him any more of a leash, or do you still look at it? Because his on-base percentage is now sitting at .348, which is what Murph wants.
Cooper Pratt, who is like pushing him down from AAA, has kind of cooled off a little bit. But a couple of weeks ago, there was lots of chatter about Pratt. But Ortiz turning it around a little bit. I mean, 238 isn't great, but it's better than being at 183. Too many guys are hitting in the low 200s below that as well on this team. And not enough hitting with runners in scoring position. They need more of that. They had that against the Cubs. But, yeah, Ortiz, I don't know. I still think June 15th, they're going to make a decision. People seem to think that Cooper Pratt is going to be up here at some point, maybe playing shortstop. I have an idea of this. I was going to bring this on my podcast tonight. I have a feeling that the Brewers might use Cooper Pratt as trade bait if they want to add a piece or two down the line. Because I think Jesus Madej, who's tearing it up at AA right now, just absolutely on fire at AA, he's the shortstop of the future, I think. He's the guy. He's the number one prospect in baseball. I would not be surprised if Pratt, before he even plays at the major league level, if they may use him as a trade piece. They don't want to bring him up to the major league level and he's terrible, and then you can't trade the guy. They got him under financial control right now. They signed that deal. My gut feeling says that would not, and I haven't heard anything, but that's just, sometimes the Milwaukee Brewers, I look at them and I can kind of see certain things happening, and I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Pratt for maybe some ammunition down the road.
Can Pratt play third?
He can play everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a talented kid. 6'4", talented kid, but his main position is shortstop.
Right.
He doesn't have a bad glove. He's just not as strong at shortstop as Ortiz defensively.
Yeah.
And I think that might be another reason why they feel like Ortiz is so good, Gold Glove type at shortstop, that he saves them in so much in that area.
Yeah.
But they're afraid to take him out. Now we've seen other guys doing that at shortstop position along the line, but I think we'll know for sure here in the next month if Pratt is coming up or not.
Where does Jet Williams fit into all of that? Because Jet Williams is kind of more of a third baseman. You mentioned Madej, who is a bona fide shortstop. Cooper Pratt's a shortstop. Do we look at then Jet Williams as maybe the guy that comes up and anchors at third, and Madej, when he's ready, he then comes up and takes short, and that's the rebuilding of that left side of the infield?
Yeah, we're talking about a guy who's, depending on how you read it, the second or third highest prospect in the Brewer organization there with Williams. He can also play some outfield. He can play a lot of different positions for this team. See, initially, a couple of years ago, I was thinking Terang was eventually in fact, as soon as this offseason, I thought maybe Terang was going to move to shortstop. I don't think that's the plan anymore. I think they're going to keep Terang at second base. And, Jet Williams could possibly factor in this as well. You need to have some pop over at third base. That's the key. And the guy I look at is a kid down in their system who's like the 6th or 7th best prospect, Andrew Fisher, who's at Wisconsin with the Timber Rattlers right now. He is a guy who is amazing. Former first-round pick in Tennessee. Andrew Fisher is a guy who I think is could be a future star with this team.
Interesting. Real quick before I let you, I agree with you. I mean, it's one of the best minor league systems in all of baseball. Yeah, without a doubt. Sal Frelick got off to a really, really rough start. Over the last 7 games, not great. He's only 5 for 24. But in the last 90 at-bats, he's brought it up out of his couple hundred at-bats. He's now up to 245. in his last 30 games, 94 at-bats. Do you start to see a little bit, maybe some of that pressure coming off of him to put the ball in play? The fact that his on-base percentage has been really low. It's under 300. It's sitting at 288 over the last 30-something ball games. But I'm starting to see at least a little more life out of Sal Frelick.
You're absolutely right on that. Yeah, and they do. I'd like to see a little bit more power out of Frelick in right field. Just not going to happen. He's always going to be one of those guys who hits you 8 to 10 home runs. Brewers seem to think that the ceiling has not been hit for Sal Frelick. Like there's more aware that he can get. And so I think that's the deal. But I think Frelick he's got to. He had 288 last year. I don't know if he can get to that point, but certainly he's better than the 210s that he was hitting a couple of weeks ago.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. Chuck, where do they find you, my friend?
Bill, get us at Google, Spotify, Apple, wherever you download your audio podcast with the #1 Brewers podcast on the internet. And, of course, our growing YouTube page. Go to Locked On Brewers on YouTube. Right after the game, you get a 60 to 90-second instant reaction on YouTube. And, of course, you get our 30-minute video in the overnight hours, late night. And head down to the game tonight. Bill, you coming down?
Not tonight. I can't. I was going to, and I got a meeting tonight, but I'm going to be back down relatively soon for sure.
Well, have fun at State Fair Park tomorrow, man. Yeah. It sounds like a great time, and I know that you've been doing this for a number of years down there, and it always seems like a great night. And of course, we got these beautiful summer nights ahead of us.
Yeah, as long as we've got good weather, I'm a happy camper in that particular realm. Great stuff.
What's wrong with your plan, man?
No, you know what? I'll be down there listening just over yonder, shall we say, because you're not far from American Family Field, which the Brewers have a day game tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So, I'll even hear that. Be giddy hearing that. Yeah. Good stuff. Chuck, I'll appreciate it always, pal.
You got it, my friend. See you.
There you go. See him next week. Chuck Freimund, Locked On Brewers podcast, joining us for a couple of minutes. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this. Stay tuned.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Roll out the winning this May at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Have a barrel of fun with your share of $300,000. Just play with your rewards card for entries, and Thursday night you could hit a home run. Plus, your May drawing entries all count towards the Big League Series prize drawing in June. It's Tic Tac Home Run, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Truck drivers, maximize your miles and earn top pay as a team driver at Schneider. Schneider just raised its pay for team drivers and has the freight to keep you moving. More business with small package parcel shippers creates new opportunities with DC to DC drop and hook freight. The advantages don't stop there. Schneider's teams also enjoy the newest trucks with factory installed power inverters and outlets, refrigerators, and memory foam mattresses. Join now and sign-on bonuses of up to $16,000 per team may be available. Find your team driving job at SchneiderJobs.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Have you registered yet? You're going to want to. The build-up, a lot of talk on the streets already, and I appreciate everybody getting a hold of me and seeing us out and about. But the talk on the streets is about everybody in the family reunion that is the 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run coming up on Sunday, September 6th. Sunday, September 6th. And the reason you want to get pre-registered, one, is because it'll take care of all your paperwork. All you do is drive through, show your receipt on your phone, boom, you get your packet, you're good to go. However, only those who pre-registered get into the drawing for a pair of VIP tickets to go to Conversations for a Cause coming up on Thursday, September 10th at the River Club of Mequon, and you get a meet and greet with none other than the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, Pat Murphy. That's the way to go. Good stuff. He is going to be our first ever speaker for the Big Unit Foundation and our Conversations for a Cause, which we're really looking forward to, but we're going to give you a pair of VIP tickets to go see that event. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter if you ride or you're a passenger. Doesn't matter. Get pre-registered and you are automatically in the drawing. You'll be one of 400, 500, 600 people. And one person is going to get a pair of tickets that morning. We're going to give them away to Conversations for a Cause to go see the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy, which is really, really cool. Not to mention, you get pre-registered, takes care of all your paperwork that morning. But ride with us. Go to eventbrite.com and just search Big Unit Poker Run, and you scroll down about 3 or 4 entries, and it's right there. Get pre-registered. Or if you're watching us right now, scan the QR code on your screen. It'll take you right to it. Again, Sunday, September 6th, it's the 19th annual Big Unit Poker Run for Big Unit Foundation supporting Fisher House, Wisconsin. And yes, all bikes are welcome. Compliments of our friends at Cousins, Burn Pit Barbecue, German Fest, Marquardt RV, Road America, Game Day Men's Health, Potawatomi, and of course, the Harley Museum and Suburban Harley Davidson. Great stuff with great people. We can't wait to ride with you in support of all of our military, our veterans, our military families and such. Stay tuned. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers look to extend their lead in the NL Central tonight as they face the Cardinals in the second game of their 3-game series. Milwaukee took the first game yesterday afternoon behind an impressive effort from Jacob Misiorowski, boosted their lead on St. Louis to 2.5 games and 3.5 games on the Cubs. Brewers playing good baseball, have won 7 of the last 10 games, but Christian Yelich understands it's still May.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice slow start, but it still really doesn't mean a whole lot. We got 110-something games to go. A lot can happen, and, we haven't really talked about it or really thought much of it because we've been through it a lot before and realize how well you have to play for a really long time to get where you want to go. So realize that there's 4 months left to play and a lot can happen. So you got to, still be on top of things and not take anything for granted.
Kyle Harrison will get the ball for the Crew tonight. He's 5-1 with a 1.77 ERA. The lefty's given up just 3 earned runs in his 4 starts in the month of May. Cardinals will counter with Michael McGreevy. He's 3-3 with a 2.40 ERA. Allowed 3 runs over 5 innings in his last start. First pitch at American Family Field is set for 6:40.
Wisconsin weather doesn't ease you into spring. It keeps you guessing. That's why your windows and doors need to handle everything. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build for year-round comfort. Get the look you want for the home you love with 0% financing options available. So you can upgrade now and pay over time. Plus, enjoy a free at-home consultation, expert installation, and a 10-year limited warranty. Schedule today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Offer expires May 31st, 2026.
Well, the Packers were on the field for the first OTA session today. It's the first time they've been able to do any live 11-on-11 work. They've got a total of 10 practices here over the next 3 weeks, along with a mandatory minicamp next month. And the Wisconsin football team is back in Madison to begin their summer workouts. They've been off since spring practice ended late last month. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update from Zach Heil, Friend.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show on this Tuesday. Warm Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday. Yeah. How we looking? 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Check us out. You can also text us 608-321-1670. 608-321-1670. You can find us on YouTube, absolutely free. Subscribe. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us on Twitter, on X, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels. Find Grant at Wisco Grant, our app, which is Wisco Sports Zone, Wisco Sports Zone. You can take us anywhere and everywhere there. Email the program, the Bill Michaels at gmail.com. The website, thebillmichaels.com. Follow us on Instagram, as many of you had. Gail Wurs, thank you for joining us and following us over on Instagram. Ryan Lockington as well. Also, Juicy Joe 41. Tracking us down on Instagram today. So appreciate you over there. You can also follow us on Facebook and on TikTok. We're on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well under the Bill Michaels Show. Our television show out of My 24 TV in Milwaukee, 8 o'clock Central Time every Saturday night. You can catch us there as well. And as we try to recognize all of our good friends over there.
There's nothing like the view from the cheap seats.
Thanks to our friends that watch us each and every day on whatever platform it is that you catch us on. Thank you. We appreciate it so much. Our friends over there in the cheap seats. So thanks for hanging out. So we certainly appreciate it. Brewers get a win, 2.5 games up. Back at it again tonight, coming up against St. Louis, taking on the Cubs taking on the Cardinals, who are in second place right now, just ahead of the Cubs. You got the Brewers. Harrison goes to the hill tonight against McGreevy, who is 3-3 with a 2.40 ERA. Kyle Harrison is 5-1 with a 1.77 ERA going into tonight's game. Man, crazy.
I think I might have said this to you on Friday. I can't remember. It feels like forever ago, but I said this on my show too. With the way their pitching lines up and the way this season is progressing, I don't know that the Cardinals series is more important than the Dodgers series. But with Miz and Harrison going in St. Louis and St. Louis playing as well as they have and the Brewers trying to find some separation, I'm actually okay with them winning 1 of 2 against the Dodgers with Sproat and with Gasser going. If they, commandingly either win 2 or 3 or they sweep the Cardinals, I actually think that might be a more meaningful result in May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we saw last year they swept the Dodgers in both games and it didn't mean anything in the postseason. Right. I don't really necessarily need to see them prove anything against the Dodgers in May. But landing a big 2 or 3 win stretch with some of your aces on the mound against St. Louis would be a worthwhile result as much as you can have one in May. You know what I mean? Obviously, plenty of season left, but this series might mean even a little bit more to me than the Dodgers series did over the weekend.
Yeah. The Dodgers, look, I said it on Friday. A lot of people were just hoping get 1, Just get one win against the Dodgers, and you're good to go. They got one. Don't get me wrong. I was greedy. I wanted more. But they got one. They didn't get swept. And I don't want to poo-poo that because I thought, okay, you lost a series. For the first time in a while, you lost a series. It's not good. But I wanted to see how they bounce back against a division foe. And you're right. The win yesterday probably meant more. And the fact that they put a little distance between them and the Cardinals and obviously the Cubs and everybody else in the division, that's what you wanted. But everybody's in that division right now is winning. So you got to continue to play winning baseball.
And I might feel a little differently again had Miz and Harrison been going against the Dodgers. To win the game with Henderson the way that you did was great. You notched that on Friday. And I even said with my friends on Friday, I'm like, okay, they got one. We'll see how Sproat does. We'll see how Gasser does, because Sproat versus Yamamoto is going to be really, really hard. And I just don't know what you're going to get with Sproat. I mean, I do know what I'm going to get with Sproat, and it's like 4 innings, maybe into the 5th. And the stuff's going to fall off at the end, and it's going to be shaky. Like they were going to have a really hard time winning 2 or 3 games against the Dodgers when 2 of the pitching match. I mean, the best arm they had going, Bill, was Logan Henderson.
Yeah,
like that. It's just tough that the way that series lined up for him.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Completely agree. That's why you're hoping that just get tonight. Get tonight, win the series. You don't want to have to worry about a day game tomorrow. Just get tonight, win the series, and then tomorrow becomes gravy. If you get the win, you get the win. If you don't, you don't. But that's why you got to get the win tonight. We do have OTAs coming up, and it's not mandatory yet. You got a lot of guys there that are participating, though, except for some of the guys that are still coming back from injury, and even some of those guys are in town just kind of hanging out. Is there anything in particular that we're looking for out of OTAs? Like when OTAs come up, Grant, you and I, we get excited because we know that there's going to be discussion. There's going to be, coaches going to the podium, all that kind of stuff.
There's fodder. There's red meat for us on the show. Yes.
Right. Exactly. But are we looking for anything specific coming out of OTAs?
Is it silly to say that the kicker might be the first and foremost thing I'm watching?
You're reading my mind. The first thing I'm paying attention to is coming out of OTAs is the kicker hitting, because everything else is pretty generic. It's for lack of a better term, it's kind of lame. I mean, we all know that because they're not really hitting. Just a lot of guys learning their position, relearning their position, getting familiar with their defensive coordinator, getting familiar with the new special teams guy, obviously re-indoctrinating themselves into the offense, who comes back into shape, who doesn't come back into shape. And those are the things that we kind of analyze. But do we look at it and go, okay, here's where we start to pay attention to what? And my first thought was probably the kicker, because they jettisoned the veteran and they still have Harvick around, but only thing I'm paying attention to is the kicker hitting on a consistent basis. Is the process good? Is there anything new that they're working on? I don't know, but that's it. We're just paying attention to the kicker. I mean, Trace Mack, can he get it done? And can he beat out Lucas Harvick?
Jagger Burton's an interesting player to me too, as much as you can learn about anybody during OTAs, but a rookie, like, does he look confident and in control? And is he going to be one of these linemen that pop right away? The Packers have had plenty of those guys. Elton Jenkins comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because again, if Jagger Burton's awesome and looks like he can start, I just think that gives them a lot more flexibility on the O-line. Maybe then Belton is in your right guard, and maybe then he's your swing tackle, which I feel better about than, Kennard or somebody. Yep. So I just think, as much as you can learn about a player at OTAs, if Jagger Burton pops and is good right away as a rookie, that makes life a lot easier on the O-line. That gives them a lot more options.
Yeah, those are like some of the little things we're kind of looking at. I mean, I guess you can look in the secondary, which is where a lot of people have anxiety, and rightfully so, because you're going to have Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon and Brandeis Cisse and Benjamin St. Juste and Damani Jackson, who's coming in, and you're going to have these plethora of guys, and Javon Bullard's back there. And does Cisse or does St. Juste, Damani Jackson, do they knock Carrington Valentine out of a starting position? Because we know Keyshawn Nixon's going to be there, but do they find somebody to be opposite him, and then Javon Bullard's going to be your nickel, or do they upgrade that? I mean, the secondary is probably an area that we're looking at going, okay, there's some things here that we're kind of hoping get better. Maybe it's via the new defensive coordinator. And then I'm not, because Hargrave's a veteran. You know what he's going to go through his business, do his thing. Him and Devontae Wyatt's coming back from injury, so they're not going to see those two guys together consistently anytime soon. But how does Hargrave adapt? And, with Carl Brooks and Van Ness and such on the outside, and Nazir Stackhouse and Chris McClellan, who they picked up in the third round to be on that defensive front. And so do those and deny Dennis Sutton? Is he a guy that, begins to put maybe pressure on Lucas Van Ness or on Carl Brooks? And, but you can't tell until you get pads on. So you talk about the offensive line, we talk about depth and some of the guys that they brought in, but those you're not really going to know until they put the pads on and start getting physical and technique starts to really show. The only guy that you're going to be able to really kind of tell anything about is your kicker. That's it.
As Brian Gutekunst said at his presser, right? How can you tell whether kicker is any good or not? And he just put his arms up. Like, is he making his kicks? Is he kicking the ball through the uprights?
Right.
One of the things that I was looking at in practice, and the beat reporters swear it doesn't mean anything. Okay, fine. But on Sports Talk Radio, we can have fun with all this. How are they lining up the O-line? Are they trying guys at different spots? I know they can just try guys and it doesn't have to mean anything, but I think everything matters. Are they trying to play a guy over here? Are they rotating, or is Jordan Morgan staying at one spot and they're not moving him around? Just the alignment stuff that the reporters always tweet out, how many reps each guy's taking at each spot. I guess that's interesting. And that's not something you need to have pads on. That's just more of a coaching thing, the way they're lining it up.
Right. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's because we all know we have a pretty good idea what the offensive line is going to be. Does somebody displace that, or somebody play themselves out of a starting role? Or who do they like where when it comes to backups? Because ultimately you're going to have injuries as well. And that's one of the things that you got to take a look at. And they love versatility. We know that. They love a guy that can play center and guard, a guard that can play guard and tackle, a guy that can play tackle on the left side and the right side. They love the versatility of what offensive linemen can bring, because 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 are eventually going to get hurt at some point in the season. You're going to have to play somebody else there. So those numbers, statistically speaking, like the reporters like to do, they'll put them out as to who played what, where, and how many snaps, and what kind of looks they got, and whether they were successful or not, and which I appreciate. I appreciate that. I just don't know how much you can tell right now. The only guy that you're going to see with any kind of consistency get looks and calculatable tangible statistics is going to be your kicker, of what he can make, when he can make them, how far, what's the distance, left hashtag, right hashtag, down the middle, to what distance, wind's blowing, wind's not blowing. I mean, all that kind of stuff, because God love the writers. They chart all that stuff, but that's going to be the only guy we're really going to have to pay attention to.
The writers chart the punting hang times too. They're there with their stopwatches.
But are we even are we even worried about Daniel Whelan?
No, but it's a funny, OTA training camp thing. They're always, if you're someone that likes following along at work with all the tweets, that's something I know that always makes me laugh that they post.
Right. I guess if Daniel Whelan's drilling them right down the middle with only a hang time of 4, then there might be an issue there. But beyond that, I don't even think that's not even an area that we're totally worrying about.
No, then we need to carve out some time on the talk show to talk about a punter controversy. But no, of all the players on the roster that I'm worried about, that's about the last one.
This one's from Troy. Troy says, hey, Unit, you did not talk at all about the biggest race of the weekend. That was the Wiener race at the Indy 500. No, I didn't. To see, 5 or 6 giant wieners driving around the Indy 500 track? No. And the one wiener, if you saw that and did see the video, the highlights, one wiener tried to take out the other wiener. As it was called in the race, as the announcer announced the race, he called it a dirty weenie, and nobody needs that. But that was the only thing that I found amusing out of the wiener race. Although they make a big deal about that. Oscar Mayer does. They got a trophy. Everybody's eating hot dogs before and after. I mean, that's a big deal. Now, me, I'd go down and eat hot dogs. I'd do that. Not like Joey Chestnut, but everybody loves an all-American hot dog.
It's like the Pop-Tart Bowl. We'll just create a visual spectacle that everyone's going to tweet about, and we'll blast our brand all over it. It's smart. And I'll be honest, I remember filling in for you last year with Austin. It might have been 2 years ago, whenever it was. And we're geeking. I mean, it's funny to watch a bunch of wiener cars drive around a track. It's funny to look at. I don't know what the analysis is. Maybe Steve Zautke can talk about, they like to draft and the tires and all this stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of funny to look at. I
don't know how you draft a wiener. I'm just saying. But I guess it can be done. What do those things even get up to? How fast do they go? Or is it 30, 50, 60 miles an hour? I mean, how fast can you drive a wiener?
I'm not sure, but if it remains at that top speed for too long, I think you got to call a doctor. I think that's how it works.
If you go more than 4 laps, you got to call your physician after the fact. Oh, now, well, on that note, let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to get to. Stay tuned. This portion of our program brought to you by our friends at Potawatomi. Potawatomi, they've got the tic-tac-dough going on right now, and you can win your share of $300,000 playing it and using your rewards card and get more rewards play. You can win $3,000 in cash, $750 in rewards play. So many different options right now and so many different places inside Potawatomi to do it. Whether it's inside the casino, head on over and just enjoy the rest of your day at the sports book. Hit to the 360 bar and get a cocktail. Head over to Dream Dance, especially on a Thursday night where you get that prime rib. That's where the special is. It's really good too, by the way. They got so many different restaurants and things that you can do. All the entertainment you could possibly ask for under one roof, and tic-tac-dough going on right now. You can win your share of $300,000, and everybody could use that. Go to Potawatomi.com for all the details. That's Potawatomi.com. Potawatomi. Potawatomi.com. Tell them we sent you.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Madison business community loves the DLC. Why is that, Chuck?
Look, small businesses have one goal: to get new customers and keep current customers. But sometimes their customers are just short on money. That's where we come in. Vets, dentists, apartment complexes, auto repair shops, really any small business can send their customers to us.
And you hook their customers up with the cash they need. Brilliant. No wonder they send their customers to Dollar Loan Center.
We're also advance or a loan. We'll treat your staff like family, hook them up with some cash, and eliminate you having to say no.
Dollar Loan Center loves Madison and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by in Janesville or Beloit now, or soon in Beaver Dam and Sun Prairie. You can also apply over the phone or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Licensed and regulated by the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions. Subject to approval, limitations may apply. See website for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
To see, what was it, 5 or 6 giant wieners? One wiener tried to take out the other wiener. Called it a dirty wiener. And nobody needs that.
My baby works in a hot dog stand, making them hot dogs as fast as she can. Up steps a cat and yells, don't be slow. Give me 2 hot dogs ready to go. Hot dog!
Hot dog music!
Baby, hot dog!
And nobody needs a dirty weenie.
Hot dog!
I'm telling you that right now.
Show me, baby.
That's fantastic. Love it. Call it a dirty weenie. And nobody needs that. That's awesome. Oh, my goodness. How do you take that into a spot for Game Day Men's Health? Maybe you can throw it in with the ED, I guess, the erectile dysfunction.
I was going to say very easily, actually, Bill. That's the perfect sponsor.
Without keeping it, into the gutter or off the track. But nevertheless, Game Day Men's Health, which the hot dogs you can still have. I just don't eat a whole lot of buns with them. But that being said, whether it's a testosterone replacement, which is what I do, and it's awesome. Some of the peptides and stuff for muscle growth and everything. No wiener jokes intended. Or if indeed you have the ED, the erectile dysfunction, there's a wiener joke for you. I don't care who you are. Call it a dirty weenie. Call it a dirty weenie. Or just, I can't say that. Nevertheless, Game Day Men's Health, they can help you out. I go see Jennifer, whether it's Delafield or Brookfield, and then they have them in Hell's Corners and also over there in New Berlin as well. But there's locations all over the state of Wisconsin if you want to go and kind of do what I do. And I'm still losing weight. I still feel really, really good. And it is, since I started with them now about 3 weeks ago, I want to say 4 weeks ago, it's been great. I'm down, I think, like 17, 18 pounds here today, even after eating my way through the weekend. And it's been awesome. And my goal is to drop another 20, maybe by 4th of July. I don't know if that's possible or not. It's kind of my goal, but maybe by 4th of July. So that's 5 weeks away, something like that, 5 weeks. So maybe if that happens and transpires, it'll be 5 weeks from Saturday. 5 weeks from Saturday. I think I could do it. Come close anyway, but be back into, beach shape and boat shape and feel good all throughout the rest of the summer and playing golf and heading out to Sturgis this year and the riding and just everything that goes along with it. Not to mention just all the yard work and feeling good and more, energized throughout the day. That's our friends at Game Day Men's Health, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's how you find out all the information. And in addition to that, you can find out the locations. Again, go to Game Day Men's Health. It doesn't take much to go get your numbers checked, and you can find out really what you do and don't need. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That is GameDayMen'sHealth.com. There you go. Myrtle, you're dirty. Was there any rubbing and racing going on in the wieners? We're not going to go there. And nobody needs that. Nobody needs it. I'll tell you that right now.
If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing.
And Grant dives head first right into the pool. There you go. Just one wiener trying to take out the other wiener. And that's called don't cross the streams. So you know. That's a Ghostbusters reference. Oh God. Yeah. I did not realize that they still did the wiener races down there until I saw it on one of the highlights. So Mac Daddy said they've been doing the wiener races for years, been sponsored by Oscar Mayer. At the end of it, they don't drink milk. They spray mustard and ketchup all over one another. It is a real weird scene. I did see the mustard, the jug of mustard, and they're flinging it everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, what my first thought was? Not getting mustard all over you. That wasn't my first thought. My first thought is, with milk, you come up and hose it off. What do you do if you're the maintenance guy and you're in victory lane? You've just got it all cleaned up. It's perfectly pristine. You're waiting for whoever wins the Indianapolis 500 to get the wreath of roses or whatever it is, the wreath of flowers, and then to drink the milk. You're waiting for that. And then you got the wiener winners up there spraying ketchup and mustard all over everybody. And you're like, come on, man. I got to go clean this crap. So
they need to consult the people in Buffalo that clean out the lots after the Bills fans hose each other off with condiments.
Or the mayonnaise, Duke's mayonnaise bowl. When the coach gets the mayonnaise dumped over his head.
Put together a task force.
Right? Who cleans up the mayonnaise? So Sam says, why don't they throw relish? Sam, I don't even want to get into what does and doesn't go on a wiener. Right? Don't even want to do that. So
I think it's a matter of personal taste.
Yeah, I think it is. There's no right or wrong. Whatever we want to do, that's up to you. I'm
small.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter.
Correct.
Whatever you throw on it, you throw on it. I'm fine because I like it all. I can do just ketchup. I can do ketchup and mustard. I can do relish on there. Hell, I can even do onions on there every now and then. Whenever you're feeling it. But whatever you put on your wiener, that's between you and God. That's it. And whoever else is sitting around you. Why does this show go into the dumper every damn time? I don't know, but it does. This is Greg. Greg says, welcome to the travels in the state of Wisconsin. Did you notice, Unit, that gas prices have started to come down? I wish you all the best for filling up that giant RV. Greg, I did see that. As a matter of fact, it went from $4.49 where I live, $4.49 to $4.19 overnight 2 nights ago. And this morning, when I went and filled up, it was $4.09. And now I'm seeing that at different places that around the area, it's now under $4. At least in this where I live, in this area.
I saw 409, which is the lowest spot that I can find in Madison, by the way. Okay. I saw 409 yesterday and was excited.
Yeah.
For gas prices.
Robert says it's $3.99 in Oak Creek. Okay. Well, maybe we're getting back to normal. Who knows?
We're back.
We'll see. Yep. We'll see. I did get let me tell you this, okay? I did get a little insight. I'm not going to say where, but there is a high-ranking official, military guy, that is over across the lake, we'll say, and said, how do I put this? Because without giving away the identity. Basically, there's some events coming up in the state of Wisconsin and the surrounding areas that they want to be a part of. And you know how they do flyovers and military salutes and all that kind of stuff. Wants to be a part of. And somebody had said to him, well, you're kind of busy at the moment. And his comment was, no, we got a couple of more loads to drop if we're told to, and that'll be the end of it. So we'll be back in about a month. I know who this guy is. I know his pool. I know how high up he is. And I kind of smiled. I went, okay, things will be coming to an end relatively quick. Just throwing it out there. Sometimes you hear things, and I smile at stuff like that because I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here to it. I will say that this gentleman has not been wrong as long as I've known him. So I don't know what he's packing, but yeah, they must have a few things up their sleeve that is going to end all of this, which I'm all in favor of. All in favor. Real quick, we only got about a minute or two here. We're going to go to Steve Zautke from Traction Reaction Podcast. He was at Indianapolis over the weekend for that unbelievable finish to a spectacular day of racing. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the tribute to Kyle Busch that took place before the NASCAR race, which was 2 great races and 2 great emotional things for 2 different reasons. We'll get into that coming up here momentarily. Carolina Bob, what you got? What's going on, man? How you doing?
All right, well, I'll try to make it quick because you said you got about a minute, but I got to save you guys in this serious discussion, Indy versus the Coca-Cola 600.
Sure.
There's nothing like those rocket ships going around Indy. And, of course, the late flags, I thought Indy did a great job of making sure they produce a happy finish. The Charlotte, the Coca-Cola 600 to me is too long. And of course, I live down here. I knew they would have rain problems anyway. The tribute to Kyle was great. I was shocked that the wife and kids were there.
I was too.
Shocked.
Yep, I was too. But it was absolute when she broke down and just started crying after she was told and her family was told that they will forever be part of that NASCAR family and they will take care of them. I don't know how you could have stayed dry-eyed yourself. It was what an amazing moment.
No, Absolutely. I mean, I got to meet her a couple of years ago in Darlington. Just a sweet young gal, and feel so bad for those kids. And I couldn't believe Braxton, man. He was the one that was like, holding her up.
Right.
He's got to just still be in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just got to still be in shock.
Completely agree. It was a great weekend. Caroline, I appreciate the phone call. We got to run. Got to get to Steve Zautke from Traction Reaction Podcast. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up, as well as the fact that the Indianapolis 500, the closest finish in 500 history, took place. The closest finish. Rosenquist, how he made that pass, I have no idea. He was fantastic. This portion of the program brought to you by our new official home of the Green and Gold postgame show. It's in Titletown. That is Home Field Pub and Social. Home Field Pub and Social restaurant, Top Golf, swing suites, simulators. They have got something for everybody. They got games. They got stuff for the family, stuff for the adults. Whether it's just a group of dudes going out one night or the bridal party or whatever you want to call it, go over to Home Field Pub and Social. Give it a shout right there in Titletown. Stop in. Great burgers, fries, all that kind of good stuff. Great food in general. Everything is on tap. They've got just about everything up there, but they've got mass amounts of space, and they've got a lot of fun packed into one space. That is Home Field Pub and Social in Titletown, the new official home of the Green and Gold postgame show for every Packers home game this upcoming season. We're going to talk a little rubbing and racing, not wiener-wise, coming up next.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
This portion of the Bill Michaels Show brought to you by Epoxy Flooring Done Right. Whether it's an epoxy floor, polyurea coating, or whatever it is, your garage, basement, rec room, maybe the she shed, man shed, whatever it is you're going to do, or maybe around, your patio. I mean, they can do so many different things. That's Epoxy Flooring Done Right. Epoxy Flooring Done Right. And I had them do my gym a few years back, and it's still, it's marvelous. Every time somebody walks down there, they're like, I love the floor. That's the first thing everybody notices. Go to epoxyflooringdoneright.com. By the way, they're based in Wisconsin. Call Sean and the gang directly right here. They're not coming from Minneapolis or Iowa or down below and south of the border. They're right here in Wisconsin, from Green Bay to Milwaukee to Madison, everywhere in between. 262-443-2852, 262-443-2852. Again, 262-443-2852. That is epoxyflooringdoneright.com. Our buddy Steve Zautke, Traction Reaction Podcast, joining us on the hotline. Steve, what a finish to the Indianapolis 500, man. Holy mackerel.
That was incredible, wasn't it? Closest finish in race history. And, I noticed something on the replay. In the Cup Series at Daytona and Talladega, they have what they call side drafting. And if you notice, coming down to the checkered flag, you run that scenario in the past, 9 times out of 10, he doesn't make that pass, or he doesn't have enough room to.
Right.
But one of the things I noticed, it wasn't until I watched it a couple times, he sucks up close next to David Malukas in the Team Penske car, who finished second, and Felix Rosenqvist with that. This really close. Got a little bit of a slide draft which just propelled them to victory, and it is incredible. The next closest one would probably be the Sam Hornish pass of Marco Andretti in 2006. But besides that was just incredible, and the crowd was going crazy. And yeah, it was definitely a popular win.
Yeah, it was crazy, and the fact that Rosenqvist didn't have the lead until then. The fact that he couldn't get it around turn one, he was just trying to hang loose. And the next thing you know, they were starting to draft. They're moving around. His teammates next to him. Everybody's on Malukas' tail. He comes around turn 4, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this is it. Malukas is going to fend him off. It's because they all went low, and then they came back, and he was kind of swerving back and forth to try to say, hey, you're not going to get by me. And then he ended up Rosenqvist faked off to the left, his left-hand side, and Malukas slides down, and then right around him, and then next thing you know, it was just pedal to the metal to see who could cross it first. And by just the nose cone of that car, he ends up getting the win. And McLaughlin was just kind of there hanging out like, okay, I'm going to let these two guys battle it out. He was still trying, but he didn't have the same maneuverability that Rosenqvist did. And Pato O'Ward, again, comes so close. and doesn't get it. He ends up coming in fourth.
I mean, how many times is he not only fighting for the lead, but he can actually see the leader take the checkered flag, and he's just he can see it. He's that close, so many times now. And then Marcus Armstrong too, who's leading the race and finishes fifth. I mean, talk about a fluid couple of last laps. There was certainly a lot going on, wasn't there?
Yeah, and Alex Palou, who was your pole sitter, and I thought for a long time he just was pacing, and I thought he's going to be your winner. And no, he just wasn't. He didn't have enough in the end. And one of the guys we were rooting for, Santino Ferrucci, by the way, for those that didn't know, yes, and I had a couple people that said we had him in studio here a couple of years ago as one of our first guests in the new studio. And he stayed. He wanted to stay all day. He wanted to stay in the bar downstairs. But we were kind of rooting for him because everybody thinks Santino Ferrucci, he's foreign. No, he's from Jersey or Long Island or something, right?
Yeah, he is. From Connecticut. And and he currently lives in Dallas Fort Worth area, and prior to that lived in he has family in Florida. I think they have a winter home in Florida, but he's one of the most popular drivers too, and he was close, but once again, unfortunately, just strategy and a few other things, and that how it just showed how tight that field was. Where you mentioned Palou, him and Dixon were leading again, and they were kind of pace. They were trying to set the pace again, and they were kind of switching the lead back and forth. And the crowd was getting a little anxious over that because they're trying to save fuel, and that is not a popular term in auto racing these days. So yeah.
So a couple of things. First of all, Graham Rahal is kind of sentimentally rooting for him. He started at 28th, really never made his way up higher than 20th, and that's where he ended up finishing. Helio Castroneves, who's everybody's kind of sentimental favorite to get his fifth, he starts at 14th. He ended up at 25th in this one and ran into a couple of problems. Newgarden obviously did as well. So did Will Power, and on down from there. Catherine Legg, who was doing the double, she ended up getting, and through no fault of her own, she got wiped out in this race. She got clipped in the rear end, and the next thing you know, she's sideways. So I felt bad for her because she wasn't going to win, but she was just trying to go flag to flag and finish, and then go flag to flag and finish in the Coca-Cola 600 as well, and wasn't able to do either.
Yeah, and some may question why she was scored 33rd. How because she actually finished further than Ryan Hunter-Ray after the accident, and that how IndyCar does is the last scored lap. So since she was behind Ryan Hunter-Ray at the start of the previous lap, that's why she was scored as 33rd, and Ryan Hunter-Ray was 32nd.
Gotcha. So that takes place. Obviously, that's a springboard into what we got coming over here in a few weeks, where IndyCar is going to come to Road America. But I want to go down to the Coca-Cola 600. I was shocked to see Kyle Busch's family all sitting on the starting grid and be there for that unbelievably emotional pre-race ceremony in which his wife just broke down, and his son Braxton had to console his mom. When they were talking about, the death of Kyle Busch and everything. I thought they did a great job. I thought the bagpipers were fantastic. But, man, what an emotional start to that race.
Very much so. But you got to figure out that that's her family. I mean, racing is her family, and you want to be where your friends are. And she had a lot of support there. And yeah, that was a brave move to do that. It's not easy. It's not, not everybody likes to mourn in public. I would not have done that, but she did. And she was, I gotta give her credit for that. I mean, that's you gotta be strong to be able to do that in such an emotional, shocking situation, and his age and everything involved with that, just you just scratch your head and just shake your head and just, not a good situation.
And you got Suarez, who after the race gets a non-traditional finish because of the rain that started to cut things short. But all the praise for Kyle Busch after the fact. Suarez said he was doing it for Kyle. He wanted to win for Kyle. He wanted to race for Kyle. I mean, obviously Kyle Busch was going to be mentioned. You would assume anybody that won that race in some way, shape, or form was going to give some type of tribute out to him. But Suarez ends up winning a rain-shortened Coca-Cola 600.
Yeah, certainly, and their race shop is in former KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports garages, and that he was heavily invested in the sport and decided to step away a couple of years ago. And so, a tip of the hat to Daniel Suarez and getting that win, 373 laps. He led his last 17 laps. Pretty much dominated though by the Toyotas. Chevrolet lost the 500 to Rosenquist right at the end, but they got to feel better that they were able to get a Chevrolet in victory lane down in Charlotte with basically the Toyotas with Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick, dominating most of that race.
The interesting, and you talked about Tyler Reddick. My God, what a season he's having, right? I mean, just an amazing run for this guy.
Well, once again, I mentioned this about Alex Palou with his team and his age and also the amount of experience. Tyler Reddick is in that same spot, about the same age, about the same amount of experience, and they're hitting that sweet spot. And that team is matured over the last couple of years, and they're certainly hitting their stride. And he definitely would be obviously probably the lead candidate to win the championship this year.
Was there anything that came out of the weekend race-wise that struck you other than some of the things that were obvious that we talked about?
One thing was Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon led 32 laps in the 500, which surprised me. If you asked me how many laps he would have led, I would have said maybe a couple under caution or something. But he led 32 laps. So he's led 709 laps at the Indianapolis 500. Now, Indianapolis 500 is 200 laps, so he's led over 6.5 races. In the lead, he's led 17 races, but he only has the one win. And, people talk about Michael Andretti and Mario Andretti. Mario was able to win a race, but habitually after that win was not able to get a second win. Scott Dixon is right there. I mean, you kind of scratch your head, but the Indianapolis can be a cruel place, and it certainly has been to Scott Dixon. For him to have so many dominant cars and be with a dominant team, only getting that win in 2008, and once again, leading 32 laps, 709 laps. It's unbelievable. Right. How many laps he's led, and only has that one win. That's a head scratcher. And then you talked about Ferrucci. He's completed the 500-mile distance for the record 8th consecutive year, and all of those in the top 10. So wow. He's been fast, and he's been consistent at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
The coverage from Fox this year was different than what we've become accustomed to with NBC in the past. It's a little more Fox-ish, a little over the top. Gronk doing all the DJ stuff and flying around in helicopters and everything. But one thing I did notice, I mentioned this earlier. Did you get a chance to see Danica Patrick up close? Because that girl is jacked. I mean, just like ripped up.
I know a buddy of mine said that, she could probably pin everybody in that desk.
Yeah. I mean, she was jacked up.
She is. Yeah. And if you notice, Catherine Legg, too. Catherine Legg is another one who's really gone. Catherine's been racing for almost 20 years, and she's I don't want to say what her age is, but she's probably in the best physical shape she's ever been in her life. She's another one that has really been jacked up.
Yeah.
And is just, like 5% body fat, as is Danica. Yeah, Danica looks like she could, put the hurt on you.
I don't know what he looked like beneath the suit, but Tony Stewart looked better. I mean, I didn't recognize him at first with the gray hair and the tight cut, but he looked better. He looked like he's dropped a few pounds.
Well, in racing Top Fuel, it's not as tight as an IndyCar, but Top Fuel racing is tight, and he had lost. I saw Tony, I think 2 years ago, and I was surprised. Yeah, he'd been gaining some weight in the Cup Series, and then actually filled out a little bit more, and then he got married, and I think his wife got on him about and then to fit in a Top Fuel car, he's definitely got himself in shape.
No doubt. Good stuff. So where do they find you? Traction Reaction Podcast?
Yeah, Traction Reaction Podcast on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and you can find me on X and Facebook. Feel free to look me up.
And we've got, in a few weeks, we're going to be all up at Road America getting ready for the Indy race as well, which is a tremendous springboard coming out of the Indianapolis 500, because right now they're off to Detroit, right?
Yeah, as I do my annual tweet or X, whatever you call them now, and on Facebook, I said, from the movie Winning with Paul Newman, Robert Wagner says, after Milwaukee or after Indy, everybody goes to Milwaukee. Well, now, unfortunately, they go to Detroit. I'm ecstatic. I'm happy with the Milwaukee Mile IndyCar race, especially with the Fair Board on board with it and working in conjunction. But, boy, I would love to see that race next week.
No doubt. Good stuff. Steve, appreciate it, pal. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bill.
There you go. Steve Zautke, Traction Reaction Podcast, talking a little racing. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got more to get to. Do not forget, if you live in Door County or visit Door County or go to Door County or want to be in Door County, we are going to be live at Lake Fire Winery in Bailey's Harbor, coming up at lakefirewinery.com, lakefirewinery.com, Lake Fire Winery at Bailey's Harbor on Friday, July 31st. We are going to be there. Lake Fire Winery and our friends over there in Peshtigo, Forgotten Fire Winery, both owned by same great people. Whether it's pouring it by the glass, if you pick up a bottle, if you want to do a private event, you just want to go there on the weekend, listen to a little music, chill and relax a little bit. So many good things. We've got great wines right here in the state of Wisconsin that people don't even know about. And, oh, by the way, they're award-winning wines. They beat out some of the best of the best. So no matter what you're looking for, they got something for everybody, whether you're the snooty snob with the pinky out or you just like it because it tastes good and you just want to enjoy some wine. That's what they say. Just come on up and enjoy it. We don't, not pretentious about anything. LakeFireWinery.com, ForgottenFireWinery.com. Both places owned by the same great set of owners and good people. And don't forget, we're going to be at Lake Fire Winery on Friday, July 31st. We cannot wait to get to Door County without a doubt.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
The deck is open. The bourbon bar is open. It's lake season, my friends, which we all love. Smoke on the water, BBQ Okachi on Okachi Lake right there on Wisconsin Avenue. It is open. Love it. I'm just gonna take a ride out there. I think just go back roads and then drive past Okachi Lake. Maybe do a circle around the thing and then stop over Smoke on the Water. Say hi to Joe and Ellen Hennis. Going to be out there. They are, by the way, the second stop on our motorcycle ride this year. We go to Stenny's in Lake Country, and their parking lot is big enough to hold everybody. So we go to Stenny's, and then from there, we go to Smoke on the Water and Okachi, and then we loop all up and around up towards Slinger, and then we go to Cheryl's Club 175. And then after that, we head to Suburban Harley-Davidson for the after party and the music with Six Pack Sammy, and we deal the cards and vendors and food trucks, and it's just going to be a party, and it's open to the public, by the way. If you want to come out and join us on Sunday, September 6th, and you don't ride, but you want to be a part of it, maybe come by and drop off a donation, or just want to come out and listen to the music and enjoy the day, we encourage everybody to come out and join us at Suburban Harley-Davidson on Main Street in Thiensville. But our second stop, Smoke on the Water on Okachi Lake. We are so excited to have Joe and Ellen Hennis a part of this again this year. Thanks to them for being a big part of it over the years. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. They're asking, let's see here, IndyCars, who was the first one to do the double? I don't know. Was it Jeff Gordon? I don't know who the first driver was to do the double, to attempt that. I know Tony Stewart, or not Tony Stewart. Jimmy Johnson just tried it not that long ago. I know that obviously Catherine Legg. I know a couple of drivers have tried that. And there was an IndyCar driver that actually ended up doing the double in to the NASCAR side of things. I don't know. I don't know who the first one was. It's a good trivia question. I have to maybe look it up. But yeah, it's look, if you complete them both, 1,100 miles, 5, 6, 8 hours in a car, a smoking hot car. I mean, you got to be hydrated. You got to get rest. I mean, that's got to be a fatiguing thing, man, without a doubt. Big time. Big time. We have got another hour yet to go. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more coming up right after this. We'll be right back.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers look to extend their lead in the NL Central tonight as they face the Cardinals in the second game of their 3-game series. Milwaukee took the first game yesterday afternoon behind an impressive effort from Jacob Misiorowski, boosted a lead on St. Louis to 2.5 games and 3.5 games on the Cubs. Brewers playing good baseball, have won 7 of the last 10 games, but Christian Yelich understands it's still May.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice slow start, but it still really doesn't mean a whole lot. We got 110-something games to go. A lot can happen, and, we haven't really talked about it or really thought much of it because we've been through it a lot before and realize how well well you have to play for a really long time to get where you want to go. So realize that there's 4 months left to play and a lot can happen. So you got to, still be on top of things and not take anything for granted.
Kyle Harrison will get the ball for the Crew tonight. He's 5-1 with a 1.77 ERA. The lefty's given up just 3 earned runs in his 4 starts in the month of May. Cardinals will counter with Michael McGreedy. He's 3-3 with a 2.40 ERA. Allowed 3 runs over 5 innings in his last start. First pitch at American Family Field is set for 6:40.
Truck drivers, looking for a driving job that delivers the reliability you need? For 35 years, Schneider's Intermodal driving jobs have given drivers like you the stability they deserve. Schneider's Intermodal drivers enjoy drop and hook freight, competitive pay, and well-maintained company-owned containers and chassis. Plus, drivers enjoy frequent time at home, typically daily or multiple times per week. If Intermodal isn't the right fit for you, Schneider also has dedicated tanker and van truckload jobs. Find your intermodal driving job at schneiderjobs.com.
Well, the Packers were on the field for the first OTA session today. It's the first time they've been able to do any live 11-on-11 work. They've got a total of 10 practices here over the next 3 weeks, along with a mandatory minicamp next month. And the Wisconsin football team is back in Madison to begin their summer workouts. They've been off since spring practice ended late last month. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update from Zach Heil, Freimund.
Welcome in. Bill Michaels Show. Hour number 4. By the way, looked it up. John Andretti. John Andretti was the first one to attempt the double. The first one to do the double. John Andretti. Tony Stewart was, I think, the first one that completed it, but John Andretti was the first one who actually did it. So a little trivia during the break. By the way, and I got to answer this too, and this is off of the text line because our buddy Brad in Sturgeon Bay said, hey, wait a minute. I heard you mention Forgotten Fire, Lake Fire Winery. Are you still coming to Sturgeon Bay? Yes, we are. Lake Fire pays for it. So, I mean, we always give Lake Fire the pub. But, yes, we are coming to we're going to be in Sturgeon Bay to the Door County Fire Company. Door County Fire Company, the old fire station in Sturgeon Bay. We're going to be there on Thursday the 30th for a live show. So we're going to Sturgeon Bay first, and then we're going to be at our sponsor of Lake Fire Winery to kind of party out on Friday and have a great time. So we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it. We're going to be in the RV. I'm bringing the RV. I'm bringing a motorcycle just to kind of putz around the island or whatever you want to call it, the county area there. But excited about all of it. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Just really, really anticipating a lot of fun up in the Door County area. So I did have somebody, Grant, ask me, is Grant coming? And I said, well, he can, but we're going to get around via the RV. But when I'm not in the RV, I'm going to be riding on the motorcycle. I don't know if you wanted to ride on the back or not.
Well, maybe I could look for a sidecar. That's next Thursday?
No, that is at the end of July. Next Thursday is when we're in Eau Claire, Wild Ridge Golf Course.
Gotcha. Sorry, I was cutting the podcast. No,
that's okay.
Wild Ridge is next Thursday.
Wild Ridge is next Thursday, heading up there.
Driving around in the OTA.
Yeah, so.
In the OTA. I'm reading Packers notes in front of me. In the RV.
In the RV, yeah. That's okay.
My brain's catching up a little bit.
That's all right.
Weekend, I'm not going to lie.
That's all right. Red Caped Knight, thanks for joining us over there on Instagram. We appreciate you. And also, for those of us, this is from Andrea, who joined us on Instagram, Andrea 2P. And then the Starry Night as well. So we got following us on Instagram. Thanks to everybody over there on Instagram. We've had more than a few followers on the counter behind me, which sits right there for those that are watching. 4954, trying to get to 5,000 by the end of the week. That's our goal, 5,000. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram, please do. And if you do, then pass it along. Do a lot of shorts over there. I do a lot of 1 minute, 2 minute shorts over there. So it's not just the show, but it's all the different stuff that goes along with it. I was at Catalano Square over the weekend listening to Rick Pomeroy play from Boo the Band. And we did some video down there, did a video on the motorcycle coming back, which was a stationary camera. Yes, it was a stationary camera for those who are asking. I can't, but you get all the Karens come out. And I mean that in both the male and female sense. You're not wearing a helmet. You don't have to in the state of Wisconsin. Yeah, you're carrying the camera. No, I wasn't. It was stationary. You shouldn't be talking when you're riding. Really? I sing when I ride. What's the difference? Who cares? So all of that, got a chance to get on the motorcycle and did a post there. I did a post out of Tim's Stereo, who I talk about all the time. Tim, by the way, is on his way to Ohio for Ohio Bike Week up in Sandusky, but he said he will be back. And they just opened up a whole other section when they've got clockworks and Zero lights and different things, accessories for your motorcycle. But still, I mean, sounds is the new sounds. I got the newest in sound system a year and a half ago. Now they've got a newer one out that sounds like even better than what I have. It's ridiculous. And he had a bike down there that he's got the whole system in it, but I've got an 8-speaker. He had a 12-speaker system, but with just the amp and the subs he had in his bike, you couldn't hear anybody talking. It can crank so loud, and it was perfectly clear. He does an amazing job with audio. It took me 2 years to find that guy. So Tim Stereo, which I might as well turn it into a commercial for Tim, but Tim Stereo Systems, motorcycle audio. He's back here in a couple of weeks in June, but set up your appointment now to get your stuff done, whether it's brake assist or a new windshield from Clockworks or any of the stuff from Zero. 608-718-1425, 608-718-1425. You can also follow me on Instagram to see everything down there in his shop that he does. It's just fantastic. So 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Find us because we'd love to hear from you. We got all kinds of text messages coming in. Hey, Unit, I read where Logan might be sent down again. If this happens, I'll refuse to watch them. Thanks, Nate from Shell Lake. Well, if you can, you can. I mean, here's the thing. There's sometimes it's just by who has the amount of options and such left, or who has the options that are capable of being used. You know?
I don't think Logan Henderson's going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere, but, I mean, sometimes if you look at who can and can't be sent down, sometimes it's just a matter of numbers.
Yeah, and I think conversely, like they've called Coleman Crow up twice and sent him back down twice already. I don't know how many times they can keep shuttling him up and down. I don't know if they want to use 3 options before the 4th of July or even June 1st.
Right.
So Henderson's going to be here. I guess it's more a question of when they feel like Priester and Woodruff are good to go. But even if Woodruff comes back, Bill, what's to say in 3 weeks he doesn't have something flare up? Like, I don't think even when is back that we should bet on him being here for the rest of the season perfectly healthy. I think Logan Henderson will be here.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. I don't necessarily worry about him going down. I mean, unless there's a numbers game that happened, but I don't foresee that. He's been so good for them. I just don't see that happening. Oh God, what is this? Our buddy David Monona, Nacho Cheese Man, coming to do the show his face in Madison, Wisconsin. What do I got to come to Madison to show my face for, Dave?
Oh, he calls you Nacho Cheese.
It's because he said he would sit behind me as a Cubs fan and put a thing of nacho cheese under my ass when I stand up and cheered for the Brewers. And so far, I would be just standing the whole time, Dave. Tell me what your Cubs have done lately. I'll wait. Go ahead.
I can tell you what they haven't done lately.
Yeah, I'm waiting. They haven't won lately. So I'm, dance on top while you're on top. Who knows? Maybe they end up coming back and running off another 20 out of 23 or something. Who knows? But right now, and they haven't won anything yet. Dusty says the Miz should be on the Mount Rushmore. That is fact. Dusty from Chicken Licks. Not yet. And by the way, I hate Mount Rushmores because it's completely drinking subjective.
No, that's okay. That's why it's your Mount Rushmore.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I get it. We do a Bill's Best or top 5 and all that kind of stuff, but it's exactly. It's when you're drinking and you're arguing about stuff and you're bringing up what means more, but it turns into arguments of you're crazy, and it's like, well, not really, because I have my reasons as to why. I mean, if you had to think of Brewers players that mean the most in the history of the franchise, obviously there's Robin Yount. You can talk about Hank Aaron to a certain extent. But you got to look, and I know people go crazy on this, but you got to look at CC Sabathia. That trade put them in the postseason and gave them we finally got over the hump after years of toiling away in anonymity. Years. And it was a short period of time, but if they don't make that trade for CC, they don't go to the postseason. And I think it changes the trajectory of the franchise. And CC was a big cog. I mean, you know, there's so many different pieces that you can look at, and Miz might be the guy. But right now, you've been to the postseason. You've been there, done that. What you need is dominant performances in the postseason to take it to the next level. So we'll wait and see. I mean, he's young, and I'm not downplaying Miz because he's fantastic. He's one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball right now, without a doubt. I mean, God, with what he's throwing and the recognition he's getting, at some point, you're probably going to say Miz is probably going to be a Cy Young Award winner, or at least a candidate, for what he's done. So I'm not going to downplay any of that. I hate to get into that stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Stevie says, do we need the Cardinals fan raining on our successes? Oh, meaning Gerard. Here's the thing. Gerard was right, for those that don't know, about the speed of which pitchers throw, because it went from being an 85 to 90 mile an hour pitcher to now a 90 mile an hour to 100 mile an hour pitcher, and those that go above that. What they did was they changed. It used to be you just took the jugs gun, you put it behind home plate, and you just got the speed of the ball. That was it. Now they've got this whole different technology system that gets it from the whip coming out of the hand, the ball coming out of the hand of the pitcher, and not necessarily the speed at the pitch crossing home plate or near the batter. And it adds a couple miles an hour to the pitch. Now, Miz would still be throwing 100 miles an hour, 99 to 100. If they go back to the old system, he would be that guy. And I listened to this, actually, it was a discussion over the weekend. It might have been on Fox when I was driving around. They were talking about some of the all-time greatest and hardest throwers. And certainly there was a guy like Dwight Gooden, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson. They said the hardest thrower was Nolan Ryan. And, I mean, he could heat it up. He was hitting, mid-90s and such way back when. And if you add that 3 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour to his fastball, he was hitting 100 on a consistent basis. So I know just from listening to interviews from years gone by, you talk about a guy like Mike Schmidt, Steve Garvey, Dave Parker, Pete Rose, all these guys that were some of the best hitters. The best battles they ever had was Nolan Ryan. And Nolan Ryan, remember, what do you have, like 7 or 8 no-hitters in his career with different teams? It didn't matter where he went. I think he leads in no-hitters. I think he leads in one-hitters. I think he leads in two-hitters. The problem was he was on a bad baseball team for a long period of time. He wasn't getting necessarily the wins that he should have gotten. But when it came to a lot of the records that are being held today, he still holds a ton of records today. So he might have been or might be one of the best pitchers ever, But it's, again, that's subjective. He was one of the hardest throwers ever, without a doubt. Because Maddox wasn't a hard thrower, and he was tremendous. Smoltz wasn't a hard thrower. He was tremendous. Kurt Schilling was tremendous. You can go through the list of modern day guys, and then you go back to Gibson and God, who was the big lefty that played for the Brewers or played for the Braves? Oh, had the high leg kick. Good God. Oh, Euchre loved him. I got one. It's one of the best interviews I've ever gotten. God, why does his name escape me? The big high kicking lefty played for the Braves. The Milwaukee Braves. Warren Spahn. Thank you very much. Good pickup. Thank you. Warren Spahn was tremendous. It's subjective as to what you believe to be a good pitcher, whether it's a hard thrower, whether it's somebody who had good stuff, had longevity, whatever. So
I'm also of the belief that athletes just get stronger and better as humans progress.
Yes.
So maybe the radar guns were a little slow, but you hear this with basketball players too. It's like, I don't want to, that guy who was throwing 92 back in the day was actually throwing 100. It's like,
right.
I don't know. I just feel like that's some people kind of protecting their era of baseball. And in 20 years, who knows how hard they'll be throwing then. Right. I don't think it's because they're futzing with the radar gun. I think the sneaky, most underrated part of Mizrowski's, he's throwing 103, but he's 6'7", so the extension that he gets, you're not picking that ball up.
Right.
If 103 was coming out of the hand on the mound, that's one thing. That ball's like 3/4 of the way to home. and it's going 100 plus, a couple miles per hour.
Yeah, he is almost stepping on the grass.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, the fact that he is not a small guy, a 5'11" guy, the fact that he is as tall as he is, and he's striding with such a long, powerful stride, and he's already another foot or two closer to home plate than some of the smaller pitchers that are out there. And you got to pick that thing up. Randy Johnson was the same way. He had a long stride. He got kind of weird, kind of almost sidearm type of throw that he had at times. I agree with you. It's tougher to see. Not only does he throw hard, but it's tougher to see because it's coming at you so quickly out of his hand. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, please go ahead and give us a shout. 877-867-1670. Find us. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. Hey, by the way, they said, hey, thanks to everybody who observed a Memorial Day ceremony yesterday, because Dave and his wife did, and they had an off day for their employees, but they were still out working. They just weren't working in the restaurant. They were out serving meals to certain people that were doing things regarding Memorial Day, things like soldiers putting out flags on graves and such. And they were doing a lot. They always do great stuff, but it's the stuff that you don't ever see. That's the kind of stuff that really you support them for. That's Sobelman's Pub and Grill, Milwaukee, in Milwaukee on St. Paul Avenue. Over 27 years they've been there. And also the one in Waukesha on William Street in Waukesha, that's known for the great buns and the burgers and such, when they were a bar and they wanted to start doing burgers right. And then they made the big Bloody Marys, and everybody knows about them. But more so than anything, they're just great people, and they're great people to have in the community. We love the locally owned businesses. That is Sobelman's. Sobelman's Pub and Grill on Milwaukee Street, or in Milwaukee on St. Paul Avenue, and in Waukesha on William Street.
Meet at Sobelman's.
Milwaukee and Waukesha. Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
It is getting warm. And this time of year, you're going to go, okay, windows open, windows closed, AC on. And if you got the AC on, you want to make it economical. What better way to do it than with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Go to PellaWI.com. Get that free in-home consultation. Not only need you get yourself set up for summer, but in addition to that, then you'll be ready come wintertime. And I'm not even going to talk about it, really. I don't want to talk about the winter, not at all. But now's the time to do it. You know, you open up your house, they take out the old windows, put in the new. It's refreshing. You got easy to open up, easy to close. They lock up. You got safety and security at night, plus all the innovations, curb appeal, everything going on right now. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com and get the free in-home consultation. However, you can call them directly too and tell them we sent you. 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. Again, 855-PELLA-WI. They have everything that you could possibly want for your home. Looks, curb appeal, economical factor, all of that rolled into one. Fantastic. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. What else we got for you? We have got Bill in De Pere says, hey, Bill, I grew up in Indy, have been 8 or 9 times to the 500. While I don't live there, I turn the TV on, turn down the volume, and listen to the IMS, Indianapolis Motor Speedway radio network on the radio. Believe me, I'm one of the thousands that do the same. I listened to the Fox broadcast for about 6 minutes, and it sucked. Bill from De Pere. I forgot about the MSN or the Indy Racing Network or whatever it is. I forgot about that they have that. I forgot about that. Good point. Should have done it. All right, buddy Steve, what a great holiday weekend. My wife and I always volunteer our time at Memorial Day weekend to set up the poppies for the Grafton American Legion. In 2 days, the poppies were being offered. The grand total for the weekend was a whopping $5,625. Thanks to all who donated generously for the memories and the support for veterans. See the attached photo complete with the Bill. He was wearing the Bill Michaels hoodie. Nice. Good to see the Brewers turning the corner in the right direction. The Miz is totally unbelievable right now, and the crew had some clutch hitting. Not to be negative, but the time has come to move on from Ortiz, put him in the utility role, and cut ties with Rengifo. Andrew Vaughn is seeing the ball great right now, making some great contact. In my mind, he's on the verge of going on a home run tear. Let's hope that Harrison continues his run tonight to get the win and get the series win. Have a great week, Steve in Richfield. And he sent a picture of his wife, him and his wife. Supporting the veterans right there. Yeah, he's wearing the Bill Michaels gear. I like it. Good stuff, Steve. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've talked about that. About the possibility of Ortiz at some point. And look, it'll happen. You just got to pick when. When you're winning, they don't like to mess with anything. When you're losing, you need to shake things up. So we'll see if that happens at some point. This is from Art, who says, today is an AC day. Did you turn the AC on in your house yet? I had to. Art, no. I just, not yet. Tonight, it's going to get cooler tonight. Going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow. Going to go from 88 today, I think, down to the mid-70s or low 70s tomorrow. So not yet. Although it's a little steamy here in the studio, because the studio is one of the highest rooms in the building. Like down in the great room, because part of it is underground. One side is open and the other side is about 7-8 feet down underground. It always sits at about 70 degrees. It's perfect down there right now. The bar itself is 67, 68 degrees, which is perfect, but not up here in the studio. The studio is 81 degrees right now. I just cannot bring myself. I turned the ceiling fan on, which it took everything I had. Believe me, I'm somebody who likes it cold. I like to sleep in the cold and the whole thing, but I can't do it yet. I just got reprieve from turning the heat on And I put my space heater here in the studio away. And then I'm like, okay, last week when it got down and it was like a high of 62 for a couple of days and it was in the 30s and 40s at night, I'm like, I had to pull that heater back out again. Every time I wrap it up, we get a cold snap. So I left the heater out and now we're cooking pretty good. So I'm like, I'm going to leave that thing out for a while until I'm pretty sure that summer is here to stay. But I know over the next, 8 to 10 days, very little rain expected. And I think the lowest we go is like 75 degrees during the day. So if it's 75 during the day and 65 at night, that's perfect. I'll just leave the windows open. Just today, can't do it. Is it warm in the building there in the studio, Grant?
It's actually pretty chilly. I got shorts and just a long sleeve on today. The air's on. So
yeah,
looks like it's going to be really nice over the next week or so.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like any rain, a lot of sun.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be great. Did you fish at all? You didn't fish at all this weekend, did you?
I went yesterday morning. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, it okay. And then the sun came out, which always makes it tougher. Nice to be outside, and then I went golfing. I was kind of a bum yesterday. Just kind of did what I wanted.
I had a buddy of mine that went to, they had a bass fishing tournament down at the lake where my house is, and he ended up catching 7, 2 of them over 5 pounds. So
hell yeah.
He had a good weekend. Then they did a striper thing down at Lake Cumberland like 2 weeks ago. They had a striper event down there, and they caught some big ass stripers down there. Big time. So they've been fishing quite a bit. Joe says, Joe from Menominee Falls. Bill, if you're putzing around on a bike in Door County, take a ride along Country Highway B. It stretches along the west side of the peninsula, along the coast of the bay. Beautiful views and plenty of places to pull over and take in the view. Joe, I will do that. I'm going to try to take anything and everything I can Door County in when I'm there. Going to get up there on a Wednesday night. Going to stay Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, come back Sunday night. So I'm excited. Thanks to our friends at Skipper Buds for allowing us to use their RV lot and all that kind of stuff. So I'm completely giddy. I'm excited about getting up to Door County for the first time, without a doubt. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Want to find us there, hit us up. By the way, over on the live stream, who was it? Buckshot Bobby that said that? He said, fishing and golfing doesn't make you a bum. It makes you a man. There you go. You did manly things over the weekend.
Damn straight.
Man. There you go. Yep. Keith says the CC trade was big, but the one that brought Fingers, Simmons, and Vuk to the Brewers, that was momentous. True. And you're right in that sense. And they finally got over the top and they get themselves to a World Series. You're 100% correct. In the more modern era, because after that, I mean, we've lived on 82 for how long now? Think about it. And it wasn't until they got into Miller Park and then they started to, kind of look at things and say, okay, we need to start winning. We've, the 5 counties paid for the park, the whole thing. We need to start winning. They bring in Ned Yost. And I remember Ned Yost saying, you got to walk before you run. Don't think World Series. Just think about getting back to 500. Just get to 500. And then we can start talking about the postseason. So let's get to 500. And then they did that. And then they started heading towards the postseason. They needed something. And that's when they made that trade for CC. That was legit. That put them over the top. So you're right. And again, this is where you can become argumentative. Both of them were huge in this franchise's history. Both of them were. I completely agree with you. Let's do this. Let's see here. Bill, do you think in 100 years watching a baseball game from your house will be almost exactly the same experience you'd have watching it at a stadium live with virtual reality announcements or advancements? Probably. I mean, look how far it's come. It went from watching it in the 60s and 70s and 80s, for that matter, watching it on a 42-inch screen was huge at that time. Now they've got 100-inch big screens with surround sound, right? And you get everything short of somebody throwing a beer to you from the corner, right? So absolutely, I completely agree. Let's do this. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Mike Clemens, we're going to talk some more baseball when we return. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Is Free Tab Tuesday. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You can get a free meal, free beverages, everything. You know how? You stop in, go to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill later this evening. Watch a Brewers game. And at some point in the evening, they draw a number. If the number is your table number, everything at your table is free. I kid you not. Free Tab Tuesday. That's what it is. You got a shot. You got 1 in 40-something shot of winning it, which is not a bad way to go. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, Pewaukee Lake, Lakeview Boulevard. They've got the Brewers game on coming up later on tonight. They got the free darts all evening, but it's Free Tab Tuesday, my friends. So take a shot. Go in. Just enjoy your food, your beverage, and who knows, maybe by the end of the night, it is all free. Free, which we all know. If it's free, it's for me. That's the way we live our life, right? Joining us now, our guy, Mike Clemens, is joining us on the hotline, who was at the Ball Yard pretty much all weekend long. Michael, how you doing, pal?
Good, except Sunday morning we came in to watch the Game 3 of the Dodgers series, and the team had gotten word that Charlie Moore had passed away.
Yeah.
In Alabama at the age of 72. Charlie came up as a catcher. His dad said, he was a star quarterback and baseball player. And he said, son, if you want to get into the major leagues, you got to learn to be a catcher. Those guys are hard to find. And that was his ticket in. So he would come back. There's a great interview with Charlie that I linked up to my Twitter account. That's at Mike Clemens NFL. So we'll check that out. But, yesterday, let me ask you this, because I didn't have a chance to ask Murph this. Would they have scheduled the Miz for Game 1 of this series against the divisional opponent as opposed to maybe the day before, so when the Dodgers were in town? When they're thinking 10, 11 days in advance?
Yeah. I think it's just kind of the way it fell, right? I think it's the way the schedule fell.
You just do it every 5 days and whatever, right? Whatever. I wondered about that because would like to see him against those guys from L.A. But anyway, Jacob Mizorowski is with his day, Memorial Day. He's out there on the mound, huge crowds all weekend long, and he's got it. As he's throwing 100 miles, 101, 102, gets it up to 103. He had a record of 28, 29 consecutive innings without giving up a run. Finally, the Cardinals got one. I think it was around the 5th or 6th inning or so. But he had a no-hitter going through the 6th inning. He came out and, for the 7th as well, pitched 100 pitches. 57 of them were 100 miles an hour or more. Mm-hmm. New Major League Baseball record, franchise records he's shattering. And so then we went to the Miz after the game and asked him, about with those numbers and that new MLB record, was he aware of that? And has he been working on his endurance to get up to 7 innings?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, in the offseason, that was the focus. And, I think it came out better on the other side. So, yeah, I do feel stronger, but nothing crazy.
Did you have fun today?
Yeah, of course. It's always fun. It's always fun to play baseball. So, no, it was just another day.
Does that number mean anything to you? Is it surprising?
No.
Just another day?
Yeah, that's what I do. I throw hard, so.
It's and that's what he does. I mean, he's getting recognized for it, not only on the MLB network, but on ESPN. I was listening to some of the talk shows driving around yesterday, Mike. But it's fun with this young group of guys that they come to Milwaukee or come up through the system, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're seeing the fruits of Matt Arnold's labor. Another guy that's really kind of had some success, and they were talking about this yesterday in the postgame show, Andrew Vaughn. It's not like he went from team to team to team to team to team and suddenly found it in Milwaukee. He was drafted by the White Sox. They feel like, well, he's a bust. He's not going to pan out. And then he comes to Milwaukee, and all of a sudden he has kind of found his stroke, specifically since coming back from injury.
And I'll tell you another thing. I keep on finding things that this Brewers coaching staff does to help both the hitters and the pitchers. There's a lot of really good detailed coaching going on. And that's why a lot of these guys come up that way, particularly with all these young players that they've got. And I mean, really, I'm not just, reading out of some sort of out of the media guide or something. I keep comparing notes when I go to these other clubs because, like we do with football, we visit both teams. And Andrew Vaughn goes 3 for 4 again yesterday, and he was asked, has he seen the Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, improve in his time that he's been with Milwaukee?
Yeah, I mean, it's been electric stuff. I've kind of got to watch him evolve over the last year, really come into his own. And, for him, I think the biggest thing is throwing strikes, and he's doing that. That fastball is probably the best in the game. It's awesome to watch.
If you had to face him, what would your approach be?
Try to hit the heater. I mean, that's what you got to try to do. And, he's got 2 other great pitches, so makes it tough at that.
Not only has he developed 2 other pitches, but his fastball now has movement, which he didn't have a lot of last year. Now he's got movement. And one of the things he went away for in the offseason, Mike, he added strength and weight. He added weight to his legs. He did a lot of leg work to be able to be stronger in later innings, to pitch longer as well. Now, his last outing, I think he only threw like 70-something pitches, and they pulled him. This one, like you said, they went to 100. But it all started with the offseason workouts and getting his legs and stamina up.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is that I want you to notice that some of these other players, too, how smart they are in terms of breaking things down as to what their teammate is doing, how they might approach a pitcher like that. And you go to the captain. You go to Christian Yelich, who had a nice 2-run homer to pretty much – they got their points on the board because the Cardinals threw some pretty good pitching at the Brewers yesterday. But the Brewers got the early lead and went on to win 5-1 against the Cardinals on Memorial Day. So you go to Yelich, and he was talking about, when you consistently hit the strike zone, when you've got a fastball like that, and it makes the batter say, okay, I can barely see this thing, but I have to trust it because he's hitting the box. And so I've got to take it seriously, and that's what makes the Miz so dangerous, according to Christian Yelich.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously really impressive. And, this year he's filled the zone up a lot and really limited the walks. And when you can prove that you're in the zone with that, then you get guys in swing mode, and it becomes a really tough at-bat, obviously. He's throwing 103.
I remember, yeah, go ahead.
And then I had a cut I wanted to play from Pat Murphy, who breaks this down in terms of, like you say, and what Mizorowski has done to build up his body. And just like quarterbacks, just like Aaron Rodgers talked about for years, throwing comes from the feet up, right? Mm-hmm. Good footwork, strong legs. And Pat Murphy says good pitching starts with the feet and the legs.
He conditioned himself. You can tell all those young pitchers out there, you have to have a lower half. And he's put together a great lower half. He's worked at it in his life. And now the delivery is sound. When the timing is sound, the delivery is sound. So at foot strike, the hand is in the right position. And then you take a kid with that extension, 7 whatever extension, and he's throwing the ball 100, and then God knows, 101, 102. And it's pretty easy. It's not max effort.
Some of these guys, I go back to the last series when the Yankees were here, and they were asked, how do you hit the Miz? And they said, well, we're just throwing the bat at it and hoping the bat hits the ball. You can't figure it out, and you can't react fast enough just because of the throws. It looked like some of the Cardinal hitters yesterday were just kind of like, okay, if I can just get the bat on the ball, just something, just foul it off and call yourself lucky. Yeah, but how many times have you heard Pat Murphy talk to us about a talent like Abner Uribe, who came in, he threw 103 miles an hour his first night in the park 3 years ago in August. And you get excited about that. And Murph keeps on saying, 103 is nice, but it doesn't count how many digits you got. You have to move the ball in this league. Mm-hmm. There's too many good hitters in this league. They'll figure out a way to hit 100 miles an hour. So you've got to find ways to and that's how Uribe was finally able to advance to a closer when he got his slider in. That Murph is trying to move the ball a little bit, as you heard Andrew Vaughn say. He's got 2 or 3 pitches now that he puts in the arsenal. It's not just the heater; it's just not the fastball. So I went into the Cardinals clubhouse thinking that, because Ollie Marmol, their manager, new manager, young guy, I wanted to ask him, what are your batters reporting back when they come out there with it out? And so after Marmol did his TV interview for the St. Louis Cardinals TV network, here was just me and 2 other reporters in Marmol's office, and it got kind of weird.
Are there days where the guy's stuff is just so damn good it doesn't matter?
You don't face that no one does that.
Yeah.
So you take your best shot and keep moving. But yeah, his stuff was really good.
But it seems like even the approach you were talking about, if you guys were at your best, he was at his today.
today. He did a nice job. Yeah, he really did. It's impressive.
And he moves the ball a lot. Mr. Rowski does, besides just the outrageous velocity.
Yeah, ball moves pretty good. Go ahead.
Is there something hard about his delivery? It's going to take 2 or 3 times for these guys to.
How many times have you seen this guy throw?
5, 6 times.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not in the box.
You don't have to be in the box. You can be at your damn house. What the hell are we talking about right now? Yeah. If you need a quote, that's fine, but damn it.
But is that one of those things where you can look at film, you can talk, you can do whatever, but until you see that, it's just almost impossible to prepare for. You know?
He's a real good talent, and it's a combo of velo, but he also just does a really nice job of pitching. Today was a tough day. Yeah.
It looks like anybody else, though, right? I mean, he was also really good today. I mean, you know, Murph says that he usually hears will climb up a jet plane. So, first time in, but second time, third time through, he was still decent. That's what I'm asking is, how do you prepare for that?
Are we done?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No more Ms. chatter. He ate our team up, and I have no answer and nothing to say.
Are we done?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Are we done? Are we done?
I can get a better breakdown from Andrew Vaughn. I can get a better breakdown on this.
Right.
This guy is in the dugout for the Cardinals. He's looking and saying, "Oh my God, this guy is 24. He's in my division." And I'm looking at this like the next, 3 or 4 years? Oh my, I mean, he was shell shocked. He has no answer.
You at your damn house.
Yeah, the house. Yeah, okay. Let's do this. We'll break. Mike Clemens joining us on the hotline. Stay tuned. We got a whole lot more with Mike as we kind of wrap up some Brewers coverage coming up here momentarily. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Road America this weekend. Here they come. Moto America, the Superbikes next up, and it is going to be screaming through the hills and ups and downs over there in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America, the National Park of Speed. Season passes, corporate sponsorship, on-site camping. It is all available. Tickets are on sale right now, whether it's for that, SCCA June sprints. IndyCar is going to come a call in after that spectacular finish with Rosenquist over the weekend. 800-365-7223. 800-365-7223. That is Road America, or simply go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com. And we are going to have a blast up there when IndyCar comes a call in. Road America, your national park of speed.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show on this Tuesday edition. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Going back to it, Mike Clemens, who was at the ballpark over the weekend. Been there quite a bit this year. Packers getting ready to get back to the OTAs, so Mike will be up at Lambeau as well. But nevertheless, Mike, Packers, or I should say Packers, Brewers, they get the win yesterday. They're 2.5 games up. The Cubs are continuing to free fall with 9 in a row that they have lost, which we all smile over. And the fact is the Brewers have now beaten at least once, hopefully twice by the time the series has ended, the St. Louis Cardinals, who's the team that's directly in the rearview mirror of the Brewers. But the Cardinals are actually not bad. They're not having a bad season for what's considered to be a rebuild year.
And over the weekend, the Dodgers media was here. Huge contingent of folks from L.A. and the NHK Japanese network. And one of those guys asked them about Pat Murphy. Like, what do you say to the end of your batting order? The guys that are at 7, 8, 9, like the Joey Ortizes or the David Hamiltons, about what their approach to the game is. And here's the Murph.
Be really good offensive players. There's no like strategy other than get the first. That's our strategy of 1 through 9. Get the first. If they don't want to throw the ball over the plate, now there's different ways to get the first down. We can smash the ball and have it land on the grass. We can smash the ball and have it land in the paid seats, or we can take a walk or a hit by pitch or a catcher's interference, and we get the first. So somehow to get the first. Then at first we got decisions to make. We can run to second. It's called a stolen base. Or we can not do that, but be a threat to steal second, which could cause some trepidation in the pitcher, which could leave the ball down the middle, which could have a guy hit it in the gap. Therefore, he can touch first and also touch second. So, yeah, have those guys get the first. Have tough at-bats, get the first. Do what they do, whatever they're kind of like. They have to have this awareness. How do I help this team win? What do I do? The bottom of the order does not mean they don't hit. It just means these are the guys that are going to hit the least. They have to be effective. They have to be able to bring something to the offensive table. And they have to be well aware of what makes them tick. That's way harder than you think.
But it's a simple philosophy of you're just doing anything and everything you can just to get to first, which means if you're not striking out, get your on-base percentage up.
And a quick story from Friday night. There's Logan Henderson, the young kid. He's up against the defending world champs, the Dodgers. Freddie Freimund, everybody knows what a classy guy he is. Murph talks about him all the time. Gets into the batter's box, and before the first pitch, looks at the kid and gives him a hello nod. Like, did I just see that on the scoreboard, on the monitor? And so after the game, I asked Logan, did that really happen? He goes, yeah. And then Logan went and struck him out. I asked Murph about it. He goes, yeah, Freddie's the best. I asked Dave Roberts about it. He goes, yeah, that sounds like Freddie. And I went to Freddie. I said, did you actually do that?
Yeah, always.
You do that?
Always. It's really hard to make it to the big leagues. I want to make sure everyone knows how hard it is and how much hard work it takes to get here. So just a hats off to every big league guy that gets here. I know he's been here a couple starts, but still it's the first time I've seen him and just give him a little head nod because it's a lot of hard work to get to the big leagues.
I caught that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Michaels, we will talk again this week. OTA is getting underway.
I'll talk to you tomorrow from Green Bay.
There you go. That's the great Mike Clemens joining us for a couple of minutes, and always good to chat with him, pick his brain, and he's going to be in Green Bay tomorrow for the OTAs, the mini camps, all that kind of good stuff that's going to be getting underway. Brewers back at it coming up a little bit later on tonight. They got a day game tomorrow. Don't forget, we're also going to be tomorrow. Our show is going to emanate live from the Wisconsin State Fair Park tomorrow. We're going to be out there for the opening of Wednesday Night Live and the Glam Band taking the stage tomorrow night, but we're going to be there to kick things off tomorrow. Beautiful day on tap again tomorrow. Not quite as warm as it is today, but it's going to be perfect nonetheless. You got McGreevy for the Cardinals at 3-3 with a 2.40 ERA going to the hill against the Brewers tonight. Kyle Harrison gets the call. 5-1 with a 1.77 ERA. The Brewers 2.5 games up in the standings as of right now. The Reds are on the road taking on the Mets at Citi Field. In the meantime, you've also got the Cubs and the Pirates going at it. And those two teams are in Pittsburgh with a 5:40 first pitch. Wicks goes for the first time for the Cubs. Ashcraft at 3-2 with a 2.89 ERA. He throws for the home team in the Pirates organization. So hopefully the Pirates get a win. You'd love to see St. Louis obviously fall and Cincinnati get beat by the Mets. And that'd be almost a trifecta there for you when it comes to success and putting some more distance between yourself and the second and third place team. So that'd be awesome tonight. Good day today. Back at it, like I said, again tomorrow. But anything else that we missed today, Grant, off the top of your head?
Nothing that we missed. I got really excited yesterday when I remembered that OTA started today, and no Mediaville, no locker room, no public practice until tomorrow. So we'll have plenty of reaction tomorrow. Mike, Zach will be down there as well. So I don't know. I'm sure at some point this week we'll check in with Zach, and I know Mike will drop in. Love when Mike wraps up one of his hits as he did there and said, talk to you tomorrow. It's like, oh, that's
right.
The best, knowing that we're going to get Mike back to back days, especially with Packer stuff going on.
Yeah, that's going to be good. God, there was something else that I was thinking of, and I can't think of it off the top. I mean, you were talking. I went, oh, I know what it was. Did you see Adam Schefter just tweeted out the Flores discrimination lawsuit against the NFL?
I saw some with lawyers, yeah.
Yeah, the NFL asked the Supreme Court to step in and say, hey, this is bogus, get rid of it. And again, the Supreme Court, the NFL now 0-2 between the Flores discussion and the John Gruden discussion. The NFL 0-2. Both of those trials set to now move forward. And the Supreme Court's not going to intervene because they believe there's enough evidence there to say, hey, this warrants at least a hearing. So now it's kicked back into the local courts, and we shall see. I mean, between the Gruden thing that is still hanging over the NFL's head and the ask for discovery for all the emails throughout the NFL, as Gruden's lawyers are doing, and now Flores taking the NFL to court over the discrimination issue, going all the way back to when he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, and there was the tanking going on, and then he got let go and because he didn't want to tank and all that kind of other stuff. So all of that stuff happening. So the NFL's got a couple of legal quandaries right now that they're trying to fight, and I think what they're trying to do is say, please God, don't let some of this stuff maybe leak out that we don't want to get out into the public eye. So anyway, that's all going on. That was another ruling that happened today. Adam Schefter just tweeting that out a little while ago. So that is going to do it for us today. Back at it again tonight. Just kind of sitting back, kicking back, relaxing, getting some stuff done, and watching Brewers baseball tonight. Outside tonight, I might even do a post from outside tonight. Cleaning up the Tiki Bar today. That's going to be my goal. So I might even do a post from out there. I'm excited for Brewers baseball coming up tonight. So that's going to do it for us today. Off to a fast and furious start to our Tuesday. Back at it tomorrow. We'll be at Wisconsin State Fair Park right outside the Bud Pavilion with the cameras all set up, ready for the Glam Band tomorrow night at 7 o'clock to take the stage. And the official start of Wednesday Night Live is back. Can't wait. Until we talk again 20 hours from now, it is time for us to get out of here. Everybody have a great day.